We're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another 42 Level 1. I'm one of your hosts, Alistair Kennedy, and here with me, as always, for the past decade, is the former Twilight Princess of all games, the current Twilight Princess of YouTube, the Uncharted 3 liar and denier, the man that believes any rumour that comes along his way, a man of many names, but you just call him one, Andy.
Mr. Andrew, here as always. What do you think is more intelligent? Right?
You are a jellyfish. I'm going jellyfish.
No. A chimp
Okay.
or a raven?
See, I know ravens are very smart animals, so I would say raven.
A raven is correct. I'm surprised how intelligent a raven is.
And in how intelligent I am, clearly so.
Yes, you're clearly more intelligent than a raven, but only a little bit.
No, I knew ravens were clever, but that's because I like my Vikings and stuff, and like they were known as they were trusted buzz. But so, what's more smart then, like a dolphin or a raven? I'd say a dolphin.
A dolphin. It's a dolphin. Yeah.
Some dolphins are meant to be smarter than humans. Some slugs are smarter than humans.
I don't know why I was looking this up, but in general, no. A dolphin is not as smart as a human. A dolphin is rated as like a 5. And a human's
I've
like
met some
7.
humans that aren't as smart as
Well,
dolphins.
100% agree, mate. I know this, but an average human is a 7, and a dolphin's like a 5. So
what is this that you're reading? Like, it always baffles me. Like sometimes when Andy's on holiday, he gets too much time in his hand because like he works quite a lot. And like the minute he's on holiday, like last week, I can't remember what you sent me. I'm like, this is why they don't give you time off. You sent me something absolutely ridiculous last week, and I can't even think off the top of my head. And I just was like, this is why you don't get time off, man.
this is why I shouldn't have time off. I should just work always.
So yeah. Anyway, you might have heard the little slip in. No, I don't mean Andy believing any rumors. That's just Andy. He just believes any rumors and then says, "I heard it last week" to me. So the show, yes, is 10 years old, Andy.
Yeah,
longer than we've been married, longer than I've had kids. It's an achievement. It's probably the longest thing I've ever stuck with in my life.
Yeah, I think this has outlasted my band now.
Has it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, I do still enjoy it. But yes, we might have some people joining. I know we've got a message to play later on, but we'll wait and see. We'll just play it as it is. We don't want to make too much of us because there was a time where I would say 10 years and we're done, but then we said 42 and we're done. And now I'm like, I'm not going to stop gaming when I'm 42. Like now I've got kids, I'm realizing you don't need to grow up that much. Like, so
I'll tell you when we're done. That's it. I'll tell you when we're done.
I was just waiting.
Yeah, no, we're not done yet. No, 42,000 episodes. That's when we'll be done.
42,000. How many have we done? Like we must be nearly 1,000.
I don't think it's that. Like if
we were on 300 the last time you were updating the podcast.
Did one a week for 10 years. It's like what, like
500,
600? It's probably about 500, yeah, because we've had the weeks off and stuff. So it's probably 500.
Yeah. Still, not many.
Just call this is episode 500, right?
Yeah, and they just renaming stuff.
Yep.
I remember when like I stopped uploading the show and gave it to you, and you would lose track of numbers. You just be like, okay, it's this number. You just starting. It was like
I kept track of the numbers quite facetiously.
There's lost episodes as well. There's lost episodes for about 6 months in the podcast feed that will never see the light of day.
Yeah, they'll never see anything.
They were gone. But yes, so we're here, but I think we're YouTube based only now, to be honest. We'll maybe do the odd stream, but I can't see us going back to audio only. I kind of like this format now.
It's just so much easier. Like,
yeah.
And also, it's there for everybody. If you want to listen to audio, YouTube Premium, you can just have the audio.
Yeah, I listen to podcasts on YouTube Premium. Like sometimes Spawnwave, you don't need to watch that because it's a format like this with many more boxes, and I will listen to Spawnwave like that. But yes, we've been going 10 years. We've not even got 100 subscribers, but hey, here we are. 10 years though, Andy. Amazing. We have had the odd week off here and there. Not too many, I wouldn't say. But we have.
No, not that many. What's been your favourite thing about doing the podcast?
Just being able to talk about games. Arguing with you is always fun. It's frustrating, but it's fun. But we have very different viewpoints. But I don't know. The knowledge that it's actually given me. Not the knowledge it's given me. I've always been obsessed with games. It was me that was hyping on about getting this started in the first place. I don't know. I just enjoy doing it. I just enjoy chatting about games. Like I would do this daily for a job. I might be doing this daily for a job soon. So we'll see. Obviously, it's enabled other things. Like it inspired me to get my journalism qualification. Got that done. Obviously, I write Game Rant now, Xbox Hub. I don't know. For one standout is probably going to E3 the first year with you.
Go to E3. Oh my god!
No,
when
not
did you go to
E3. Where was it
E3?
we went? Eurogamer. Sorry, it's been a long day.
EGX.
Eurogamer, and when we won the podcast Best Newcomer Award in 2013 on the bus on the way back, I think it was.
Oh, on All Games, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I like that. And then there's a photo, and I don't even remember it, and it's me with the Keyblade and the booth workers, a wee guy clearly worried trying to take it back off me, and I'm like, it's a Keyblade. I enjoyed that. Meeting Matt Bradford in Canada as well. Obviously, I don't meet people off the internet usually, and met him and his wife and his boy Xander. It was fun. I don't know. What's your favorite thing? I just it's just I like it now. I don't know what it is. I can't describe it.
I like
it's a habit.
Yeah, it's just a habit now. I like the days when we used to get together in person and do the podcast, and then stay up drinking until like 5 in the morning, and drinking. What was it? We're drinking.
Well, you used to come to the house and I'd be like, Andy, I've got a bowl, and you'd be like, what the fuck do you mean a bowl? And then it would be Kool-Aid with like a half bag of sugar in it and a bottle of vodka. And we'd just drink that, and the Kool-Aid mixed with sugar and vodka. We'd be like, it's the 5 in the morning. We'd be like, we better get to sleep. And then I know Andy was just doing the same as me. He'd be sitting with his PSP or Vita or whatever it was at the time, just wide awake until the light came up.
And the red wine days were fun as well.
No, they weren't. Not for you. I don't know. We went from a podcast that had like 8 hosts at one point, 6 hosts. We've been through many. We had a host that we reckon ended up in jail at one point.
It wasn't either of us.
It wasn't us. It was that Irish dude that was on. Did we not also have that guy that ripped off Matt as a host temporarily for a few weeks as well?
Jefferson, yeah.
And obviously, to start, it was me, you, Russ, Robin, and Ross, I think it was, because it was R. I remember that. And yeah, I remember the first episode was always a good one when we stayed up to like 4 in the morning because I had a script that I wanted to stick by. And I was like, this is what we're doing. This is the points we need to hit. And then I couldn't pronounce that dog. Promethean. I don't even
you called it. It was Tokyo Jungle. You were talking about Tokyo Jungle. And it was a Pomeranian, but you called it Promethean.
Yeah, so many times. And then Ross ended up, he never made the first episode, the final cut, because halfway through he fell out with his landlord, didn't he? And he started swearing, but it didn't help that he was nervous and read his review, and I was like, that was Amazon review 101 from Ross. Yeah, that didn't help. So Ross didn't really come back until Starling City Radio after that. He did come back to 42 for a few months. He used to dip in for a few months and then disappear with us. He's probably our most frequent one that's been there since the start, I would say. Fraser came and then podcasts became uncool when he started finding a wife. And then he's getting into his own thing with PC. We lost a good man to PC gaming. He's now part of the collective, the Aces or something like that. He does things there. He basically points a camera at himself while he plays PC games.
He streams games sometimes.
That's the other word for it. Yeah. But I prefer doing this stuff. I don't really like streaming as much. I don't mind if it's a stream. Like I was going to suggest to you, and we might do it, streaming Gotham Knights when it comes out. But that's one of our talking points for tonight, because that's a way that I would like to celebrate 10 years, because I've wanted a co-op game. Obviously, we've been playing through Gears, and we kind of went Gear Burnout because we've done one after the other. But this is a brand new game that we can both play, and like if we streamed it, there's no harm, no foul in that, because we just do it on PlayStation. So keep an eye out for that. Again, if you're a long-time viewer of this show, you'll know sometimes promises don't hold up on this show. Sometimes things will not happen.
We've had some wacky ideas over the years as well, like because we did the 42 News with the daily news
before everybody else did it. I swear it was before everyone else. And it was daily, and I used to make you and Andy, because I thought it was hilarious, because you and Davis, you didn't appreciate Davis didn't appreciate you as much, and the two, it was so brilliant. And I was like, here's the news to it, you just need to read them. And like I would set up this radio thing, and it would go live every day. And then that was the 42 Media Days, and then I've had about 10 podcasts at least over the years. And like I remember we had Comic Book 101, we had
the spin-off shows. There was
Project 42,
yeah, which was a comic book one as well.
Was it? I thought it was.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, it was comics.
Yeah, I must have renamed it. Nelson was on for a couple of those, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he was on that one, but that one I think only lasted like 5 episodes. And Comic Book 101 was a great idea, and then I think we only did 2 or 3 episodes of that as well.
And you spun off podcasts from this show, Agents of Shield. Even though I was meant to be on it, but Agents of Shieldcast, like. And then I watched the episode. I went, Andy, I'm not doing it with you. I don't like the show. But you've done many episodes of that with Mr. Chip Seller himself.
Yeah, Agents of Shield cast. We did like probably about 200 episodes, I think. And it was popular. Like we just couldn't make it work once I changed jobs and stuff. Like the time difference was just too crazy. Plus the show went really weird. Like Agents of Shield, like it got to the point where I didn't enjoy it that much anymore, and I think Chip was probably the same. So, but we did spin-off podcasts from that podcast as well, because we did Daredevil podcast, we did a Jessica Jones podcast, so we had about 6 or 7 different spin-off podcasts from Agents of Shieldcast.
Yeah, because I remember when I first started this or started talking about it, and obviously you were in, because me and you, from the minute we started talking, we just talked every day near enough, and like about games, always games. And I kind of brought like people back into gaming more, like Fraser and stuff like that, because that's all I would talk about, and I wouldn't shut up about it. And when me and you started this, not many folk knew what a podcast was. I had to describe to them, because it was just like, it was before apps and phones. We started this show, really, because phones back then were like hybrids, where they kind of had some things that looked like apps, but it was menu items. And podcasts, like I used to listen to them, and I thought, this is brilliant, this is radio, but I can listen to video games. And it was always the video game show. I should ask those guys, because that's what I mean. We've met so many guys along the way, and made so many friends, if you will. And I'm not as sociable online gaming wise, but it's nice that we've met these people. One of my favorite interviews was Stuart Gilray, who sadly passed away, who worked for Just Add Water. He came on to talk about Abe's Odyssey. That was a fantastic interview, because he was so cool. And also the creator of Cards Against Humanity, remember, because once we were thanking him, he says, do you mind if I hang about and just talk? And we chatted about Wii U and things like that. That was really cool.
Yeah, I can't even remember what his name was, but like, yeah, he was sound.
Trying to remember, but we don't do as many interviews as we used to. But that's okay.
We haven't done an interview for like 2 years at least.
I can't even think. We could do interviews, but it's just organising with them, and sometimes our schedules don't always align. Now I've got kids, I'm like cancelling last minute, and it's just unprofessional to do that. So
just the time difference as well, because a lot of those people, like, we were getting them on from America and stuff like that, so we would be extending the show into the LLs of the morning and whatnot. Not that we don't do that anyway sometimes, but
yeah, we've changed it now, so like sometimes it is long format, but then we broke it down for a while, like when we started YouTube. Obviously, COVID years happened, and we were on YouTube because All Games, Scott Rubin came back, turned it into his own personal blog, and got rid of all the live shows. That's what happened. I'm being nice. I'm not being like I've said my piece to him. They retweeted our 10th anniversary tweet. So
thank you, All Games. That's nice of them.
They did, I bet it was Tiger Claw. Yeah. So Tiger Claw as well was a great help at the start, man. He was the one that showed me how to get connected to the All Games broadcast servers. He was the one that taught me how to. We didn't teach me everything. I had to do a lot of research to figure out, and it is the most complex. Like nowadays, you can download one app called Anchor. You can record on your phone and upload, and that's you've got a podcast live in iTunes. I had to apply to Apple iTunes. Google Podcast wasn't even a thing when we started. Stitcher Radio was the other one, and we were one of the first shows on Stitcher Radio. This was before Spotify was a thing. This was years before Spotify. And Stitcher Radio, we were one of the only shows there. We even started on YouTube like 8 years ago doing a video game show that I'd scripted out, and if we'd thought and stuck to it, man. But hey, do you know what? It's more about just being able to get all my weekly video game thoughts out now. I enjoy still doing it. I do still enjoy chatting with you, even though the thing is, some people that do these shows are genuine friends in real life. But what people don't realize is me and Andy, from the minute we wake up to sometimes beyond when we go to bed, are texting each other most of the day about games or something to do with games, or like the show, and like we don't script the show anymore. Sometimes I'll take notes to remember what games I've played or a news story like that I want to talk about, but we don't script these. And the reason that we don't need to is because I know Andy, and it just works. Like, but I've seen some shows where it's like overly edited, overly scripted. I used to worry about editing the show. We used to like edit out swear words and tangents that were boring and things like that. Remember? And
pauses and like coughs and breaths.
Yeah,
and, like,
remember having to do. That's just the way that I wanted to do it, and man, I couldn't go back to it. And then I get fucking tired with it and give it to you, and then like you were doing the editing for the years, and I'm so glad we don't need to edit now. I just need to make thumbnails every week or two when I can think of it, and then that's it. But no, like I've liked every. There's not really been parts of the show I've not liked at all. Like there's some weeks when I'm like I cannot be bothered, but then I miss not doing it. If you know what I mean. That's the weird thing. Like if we don't do the show and I'm like I can't be bothered. Like last week, my son was ill. This was meant to be last week, but Leo was really ill. He had a throat infection for the full week, man. Like he ended up getting antibiotics with the doctor. We didn't get sleep for like 3 days straight. Me and my wife, like, and I don't mean, oh, you must have slept. We did not sleep, man, because he was up every 15 minutes round the clock. Like, oh, awful. So then, like, Lexi's now ill, but the kids are off school, so it's a wee bit easier. So yeah, but yeah, this is the 10th anniversary show. 10 more years to come. Will I play Matt Bradford's message before we move on to stuff? Will I just do that? Then we'll see.
Yeah, let's play Matt's message. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I haven't done this before, so I'll click on this one and then present video file, and then I should be able to go here, and then this one.
Happy 10th anniversary, guys. Sorry I couldn't be there in person to wish you well in this fantastic accomplishment, but I was there in the beginning, if you remember. I think I was talking about my Guinness stuff, but you guys have always been kind, have always been welcoming, and you've always been kicking butt when it comes to the podcasting stuff. So I wish you a very merry 10th anniversary. 10 more years to come? I don't know. This podcasting stuff can drain on you, but I know you guys got the energy. You got the knowledge, you got the skills, which is 3 things I try to bring to VGO and sometimes fail. So you're already ahead of the game. Love you all. Love you? That's weird. Let's go with love. Have a great time, and hopefully I can catch up with you live sometimes. Bye.
Cool, man. Yeah, so Matt, Tuesday night, that was nice, Matt. Tuesday night is difficult because he does 2 shows on a Tuesday. If you want to check out Matt Bradford, we'll get him on the show at some point. Might need to just change our record date for one. We've done Tuesday religiously since we started because that was the date Derek gave me to record. Whereas we can make any day we wanted, and we've just Tuesday's just easiest. It's all Tuesday feels right to do podcast. Matt does Video Game Outsiders, who used to be in All Games with us. We used to be the starter dish. It was us 40 to level 1 at 9, and then it was the B team first, then VGO? Yeah. And then VGO finish off, but they're now in some other network. But if you look up Video Game Outsiders, you'll find him, John and Michelle. Although I prefer him on Sean Freeman's show. Sean Freeman, another fan of the show. No, he's not. Friend of the show, who does Zombie Cast and has done for many years. Sean Freeman's a good guy. So he used to do Knuckleballer Radio that I loved. Been on there a few times as well. I miss doing that, and I'll get, do you know, that's the biggest thing I miss about the show is All Games. Like, even though I had my choice words with Mr. Scott Rubin when we left, I miss what was there. Like, even in the last few days when like the B team had left, VGO had left, and it was just really us on a Tuesday night, so we could go as long as we wanted. I still miss having the community there because there was always someone chatting or talking and interacting with the show, and I just miss having that completely. And we just kind of had to scrabble it together, and how the fuck are we going to do this? We didn't even want to do YouTube at first, like 2 years ago when we started this.
It was just the easiest way to do it was through YouTube. But yeah, no, like all games back at the beginning when we first joined that, like that was phenomenal. Cool, and it was fun, like, and
awesome community.
The interaction with the different shows and that, and like just hanging out in the chat with other people was brilliant. And
yeah, because we'd finish up our show and then hang out in the B team. Like,
hang out the B team, and sometimes for VGO as well. When we would stay, we would listen to like both the other shows, like, and it'd be like that'd be your whole night. You'd be like there for hours till like 4 in the morning or whatever it was.
Yeah, sitting with your Vita or like 3DS or whatever, just chatting away every now and then. Like, I loved it, and I just didn't like the way it went down. Because if anyone doesn't know why we left All Games, we didn't leave All Games. I tried to connect one night, and I was told that everything had changed. and I'm not part of the Facebook. I don't use Facebook. I didn't. Was it? And I hadn't had anything, and I was more than a bit annoyed that for 8 years I'd done a weekly show for the guy, and he never even emailed. To me, that would just be a bit of courtesy to email, even a bog standard email to all the shows that said the same thing. But all I got told was you should have checked the Facebook. So I kind of lost my patience a bit. Happens. Not bothered. It is what it is. All games allgames.com exists, but the All Games Network's no longer there in my mind.
No. Big shout out to Derek as well, who
Derek Hodgkins,
the network. Yeah, Derek Hopkins. And he helped a lot with getting the streaming stuff set up to the
review
and he sent us a few review codes and stuff like that as well. But yeah, getting the streaming stuff set up to go live every Tuesday, like he was a big help with that, especially when there was when we had teething problems and hit an issue and whatnot. And
he would stream for us sometimes.
Yeah, and he'd streamed for us a few times as well. And also a shout out to the random Russian guy that created virtual audio cables.
Yeah, man.
That we had to buy several times
because he had the lifetime one, but we were too cheap. But it was like, what, 30 quid for the lifetime? We're like, we'll just pay the £10, it'll be fine. But the problem was, if you ever deleted the file or your computer had to be restarted, you lost it completely. It was like a one-off license. So even if you would change computer, you couldn't move it. So yeah, we had to buy it.
You had to buy it again. I think I've bought it 3 times.
I bought it twice.
Twice,
yeah, at least. Yeah, and then archive.org is the way we've done podcasting, man. Like I was talking about before, it wasn't just recorded. I thought Matt Bradford had joined us, but he's still here. I'll remove that. So yeah, like what we used to have to do was record the stream. You would have to record the stream because you had the sound card, and you would have to send it over to me. Then I would have to edit it and add in the title music and the outro music, and then I would have to upload it to archive.org. Then we would have to go to Google Feedburner.
Yeah, Feedburner and Blogger as well. Yeah, and
do HTML code in the back end of Blogger so that iTunes could read it, and we would have to do this every fucking week. Whereas now you can Anchor's the easiest way of doing it. You're on Spotify. Like I could be on Spotify in 2 minutes. Like I could do this show here recording on Spotify by literally just speaking in here like this. Boom, there, my podcast uploaded. Nothing else to it. Literally nothing else to it. So I'll say, see, these days, even though we've got the experience of that, which is quite good, we don't need to use that. We'll never need to use that again if we want to do another audio show, because Anchor exists. There's other platforms, but I would just use Anchor because it's got ties to everything. It's owned by Spotify for one, so you can use all their music in the catalog. You can use all the music, so you could do a live DJ show on a Friday night if you wanted. Now, you just pull through the music that they've got in the catalog.
DJ Andy.
No, I've heard. You're DJ. Your music choices are awful. Like that's why even like Ashley only says, just let them pick one, then move on with the rest of it. So, like, I would say if you want to do a podcast, do it because it's fun. Do it with a friend. Do it with yourself. Like. Sometimes talking to the camera, I do enjoy that, but it's always better to have someone to bounce off of, I think. But use StreamYard. I will recommend this website here, StreamYard.com. It's free. We don't get paid to say this. I just really like it. You can pay every month. We did. And all it means is you can get rid of the duck. But I mean, see all the banners, the backgrounds. You can do it like that. See all the stream obs and stream obs. Bollocks to it, man. Like maybe the Twitch guys like it, but I'm not a Twitch guy. And we like YouTube. And whether we've got 94 subscribers, which is our current count, or we've got 94,000, we'll still be doing the same show every week. So if that makes you want to unsubscribe, then I'm sorry. But we are who we are. You're going to get honesty from us. I think this is lettuce because we've almost become, and yeah, I'm including you in it, even though you get garbage takes sometimes. We've become more analytical of games because we're constantly like looking at trends and things like that. So we're seeing the way the industry's going, and several times we've made calls that have become reality on this show over the years. Several times, mostly me, but like several times over the years we've made calls, or we've discussed things that then we've been like, this is what they should do, or like I just like the way that it's improved that. And the fact that it's 10 years on and we're still sitting here doing it tonight, and we're not like, well, we'll make this the last show. And it's like, no, because I want to do it next week because there's more shit, there's more games out next week. It's not going to change. I think I always bought a lot of games, right, as you know, but I think I buy a lot more now with a different purpose because I'm looking at it in different ways. I'm not just in. It's weird because I will enjoy a game, but I'm not just enjoying it and that's it. I'm fine with just enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, and then I'm like, oh, I need to talk to Andy about that, or I need to speak about that, you know, and even separate from like reviewing it, because when you're reviewing a game, I don't care what many people say. You don't always enjoy like it, even if you give the game like a high score and you did like it. Like sometimes I'm glad that I'm not reviewing a game like Gotham Knights, even though I could have reviewed it. I didn't end up reviewing it. I'm kind of glad in a way because depending what publication you're writing for, like the Xbox Hub, I've got to play it on Xbox. You know, I can't play it in the PlayStation review it that way. I want to play it.
You have to kind of
rush to do it
as well, yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. I was like, see, if I was reviewing Gotham Knights, I'd have to put it on like easy, basically, because that's what most journalists play on, just to get through the whole story as quick as possible. And then, like, you've kind of ruined a game that I've been looking forward to for years at this point. So, yeah, I just like the way that we can talk about things in the show. We discuss things. Obviously, it's a very different show from what it was. Like you said, the Red Wine days. I would listen to those shows again. Early shows. The difference is, like, now it comes across as it's always been a conversation with us, but stage fright did hit us all at some point. Even though I talked like Billy Big Boys that I was fine, I had stage fright the first few episodes. Like even when we were doing YouTube at first, I was like, I'm not really keen. I'm just doing this to prove to Andy we can do it, because you were like, I'm not putting my camera on at first. That's what you said to me. I'm like, fucking put your camera on. So I'm glad we got to this point now, and I like what we're doing. And
I think we just don't. I think we just don't care. We're just like over that shit.
That's,
like,
yeah, but that's the good stage to be, where you're like, I don't really care. Like I care about what we're doing. I care about what we're saying. I hope anybody listening to this enjoys it. But at the end of the day, like, this is for us. Like, and I know a lot of people say that. Not doing it for the money. You are. You fucking are. The only people that say that is millions. If we get paid for this, I wouldn't complain. But I'm still going to do this every week regardless. Like, that's the difference for me. Whereas some people, if they lose their subscribers, they would quit YouTube. They wouldn't just keep doing it. It's like, I've had a full-time job. This is my hobby. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, on to it. And we've mentioned it a couple of times. Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights. Let me get a banner up for Gotham Knights, Andy.
While you're doing that, I want to give another couple of just quick shouts to people from over the years.
Man.
So the big two that we've not really spoken about would be Chip Seller from the B team.
If it wasn't for him not responding to my email, we wouldn't be here just now, because I actually wanted to be on the B team, which no longer exists now. And Chip was happy with that. Like, he was going to get me doing some writing and stuff like that. And then he was on holiday and didn't answer me back. And I went, fuck it. And I watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that night, and I started messaging. Andy was the first port of call. And then the two guys that worked at the game shop, Russ and Robin, and then Ross. And that's the way it worked.
And we obviously we did end up being on the B team several times over the years. And the B team no longer exists. It's gone.
I know. I missed that show.
I can't believe we outlasted the B team, which is mad. But and also Fred from gaming.
Yes, I did not mean to put that up sarcastically.
Fred Rojas from also, he was on the B team, but also from Gaming History 101, and now Video Game Purist is his current show that he does with Trees. But like those two guys, they are dynamic on their show. I think that kind of inspires our show as well. Like
the way that I don't listen to them.
No.
I mean, I listen every week.
No, from years ago. I mean, like from the B team. Like the B team was like what the V team and VGO were what we listened to, and we definitely modeled the show at the beginning off of those shows, because that's
more so
the BDO's podcasts. Yeah, for sure. So big shout out to them, and we've had Fred and Chip on this show numerous times over the years. So they are always welcome here anytime they want.
Anytime, open invite to all of those guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, same to Jamal Ice, another name that
Jamal Ice as well. He's been on our show quite a number of times.
Kid just now, little Flynn, and I know having a kid's like, man, don't have to stay with one. So no, I just think it's weird that, like, how long this has been going for now at this point. Did you think it would go this long?
I mean, probably not at the beginning, no. I mean, once we got to like 100 episodes, then I couldn't imagine doing anything else on a Tuesday night. Like after we'd done like a year, I was like, this is just what we do on a Tuesday night now, like forever.
That's just the schedule. Hold on, I need to finish more of these. Tasha's eating mayonnaise out the jar by the looks of it.
Yes. Why would you eat mayonnaise out of the jar? That's strange.
It's not mayonnaise. She's having like some Italian voodoo stomach medicine.
It's pesto.
No, it's like lemon stomach medicine. Stomach settler. That's the word I was looking for.
It doesn't sound tasty. Don't eat it.
It's a drink.
It's a drink. Oh, jeez. It's been fun. We've had a lot of good times over the years. I think my game has changed a lot actually since we started, because I used to play like PES and some action games and and Final Fantasy, and that was it.
I don't think you were as big a gamer before the show started.
No, I played.
You loved games. You loved them because we talked about them, but you didn't.
I loved
you
the
weren't
games
like
that
I
I
need
played.
one every month. Yeah,
no. I was like, I play my PES and I'll play like Final Fantasy when it comes out. And like,
so do you think in a way the
show, Assassin's Creed?
Do you think in a way the show has affected where you actually work now as well because of 100%. Your interest in that?
Oh,
that's
definitely.
Nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then look at me as well. Like obviously, I've always liked video games. Now I'm angling towards this is what I'm doing for my job as well.
Yeah.
So the show's affected both of our lives like more than.
I don't think I would have been as successful in my job that I'm in just now as I have been if I didn't have the show, because I had all of the background knowledge of all of the games by the time I was coming to do my job. And because I know everything about games, that also bleeds a lot into tech.
Yeah, easily.
Well.
I mean, I ended up working at O2 for years because of it. The phones. It naturally comes hand in hand, technology with games. But yeah, it's cool. It's crazy that the show's actually affected our lives, even though we don't do this as a living.
Yeah, and like I built a PC. Well, I built 2 PCs for the show, and I'll need to build another one because my PC is now like 4.
Yeah,
but I only did that so that I would learn how to build a PC and how all that worked, and so that I could do the streaming stuff for the show because I couldn't do it before.
Yeah. I mean, we were one of the first people to collaborate with Special Effect as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not just saying that. We collaborated with them when it first started.
Yeah, we collaborated when they first started, and we had one of their guys on the show actually before.
The founder, the founder,
yeah. And we did 24-hour gaming marathon for raising money for them as well.
And now they're a massive charity that get massive donations. But we were honestly there when Special Effect first came about.
We've seen the birth of the internet through many lenses. But no, that 24-hour game marathon was fucking hilarious. Like some of the things from that,
I was pissed off by the end of it, man.
I'll remember them forever. Like, because
I dressed up as a woman, did I not?
No, I dressed up as a woman.
You had a dress on, I get makeup on.
You got makeup put on you, yeah. We both had to play Outlast, like at 2 in the morning. That was fucking terrifying.
My door banged open with the wind.
Yeah, and we did an impromptu live show, like from I think
Ross fell asleep.
Ross fell asleep playing Batman Arkham Asylum, I think it was, or Arkham
and he says I wasn't fucking sleeping. You can watch the video back on. It's on this channel, and he's sitting, and I phoned him. He's very rude to me over the phone. I don't think I was polite to him either. But
it was very, very funny. That was hilarious that night.
We did a New Year's live stream. We were having a New Year's party. Me and you were that addicted to podcasting. We made people at the show come up and talk about games, even though most people at that party were not. And even at that time, Fraser wasn't that into gaming. Really, no. He liked games. He always just played games, but his level wasn't as high. He was still in party mode where we were like, we need to do a show, man. Like we were just itching.
I think it was like a Tuesday or something.
Yeah, it was.
So we had the show during a New Year's party, which was very fun. I don't know if that one was live. We might have just recorded that one.
I did an impromptu live, didn't I? I took over all games the night we were doing the stream. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, on the stream. Yeah, definitely.
Derek was the one speaking. I was speaking with Derek.
Yeah, that was funny. And E3 was always good as well. Like I loved doing E3 stuff. You weren't always available to be on it, but
no.
Like I did so much.
You did it
with Fred, like on all games over the years. Like we used to do it every year, and we used to cover every single like press conference basically.
Yeah.
That's obviously gone away now.
Do you know, like, last year or the year before, we covered basically because we get the virtual passes because E3 was because we can still apply for stuff, obviously, but we applied. We got into E3 press passes, but it wasn't going to be a live event. It was online, but we covered every video for that we could. Most of them. We even get featured in the scandal that Amico is. One of their videos had a quote from us, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they had a segment from our video in their Amico video.
In the promo video.
I like the look of that thing, and like
I still think it looks cool, but apparently it's all just a big money embezzling scam.
Definitely a scam for sure. It's a scam now. I thought I was pretty sure it was a legit thing. So when we talked about it, because it seemed
in the Argos catalog now.
Yeah,
if you go on Argos online, you can pre-order one.
It seemed like it was going to come out and happen, and like they were making games and stuff. And like, oh, it's interesting. It's a different concept. It was a bit expensive, but other than that, like, looks cool. And now I'm like, this thing is vaporware. It's never coming. This is never happening. I'm pretty sure the games are produced and the actual physical boxes are made, and they're going to be out there in the wild somewhere. But this console is never fucking coming out. Never ever coming out.
Right now, it's on Argos.
This is never coming out.
You can add it to your trolley. They're even selling a retro controller that will go with it. It still says it's coming out at the end of this year.
That controller doesn't go with it. It's a plug-and-play controller with 200 games.
Do you know, there was something really cool about this? I don't care what folks said. And like Earthworm Jim 4 was coming to it and things like that. It appealed to me. I was probably going to get one.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like the games looked fun. Like simple, fun games for kind of family games. Which is something that's definitely been missing a little bit over the last few years, but this thing's not coming out ever. No chance.
But anyway, we'll move on to our what we're talking about. Gotham Knights. Now, I'm not here to bash Gotham Knights, but we need to talk about this. Gotham Knights is out on Friday, I believe. Am I wrong? I think it's Friday.
Yep, it's Friday.
And people have been bashing this game, man. And I think it's because we'll talk about what just happened, but I think people have been bashing this just simply because where's Batman? We're like, where's Batman? Okay, so it's not a Batman game.
I think it's partly that, plus also the fact that Rocksteady is not making it.
Yeah, but this happened with Arkham Origins.
It did.
I liked Arkham Origins. I thought it was a really well-made game. I enjoyed the detective parts of it because it focused more on that. It was fine. But yeah, we'll stop that because the video was kind of lagging. I thought it was cool. Like, I enjoyed Arkham Origins, but people slated it. And now, retrospectively, people are looking back going, maybe the 70s that game got, because that's what Arkham Origins got, 70s. Was maybe they're like, it was too harsh. And I'm like, it fucking was too harsh. But the minute you heard it wasn't Rocksteady, you already dropped it 10 points. And then...
That pisses me off, though, about review scores, right? Because, like, 70%, 7 out of 10 is fucking good. That's a good game. Like,
yeah, but it's not viewed upon with the Joe public. If it's not an 80 or 90% game, then it's trash.
That's fucking stupid. Like, if you're gonna subscribe to review scores, if you see that as a metric, fine. But you need to see it as a full 100-point or at least 10-point scale, where 1 is trash garbage, 2 is bad, 3 is
playable.
3 is playable but not good. 4 is
okay,
just okay but not a great game. 5 is average,
a decent-ish game. Yeah.
6 is it's all right. 7 is a good.
Yeah, 7's a good game. 8's
excellent.
Doing well. Excellent
9
game.
is superb, and 10
is just perfection. 10 is Oscar-winning movie masterpiece style game.
Yeah, and no game is ever a 10, ever. There's no such thing as a perfect game.
I would argue Breath of the Wild 1, man. Personally,
I still wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. No, even Final
Fantasy 7 as well.
Final Fantasy 7. I would give it 98%. 98%.
I'd say it's perfect, man. I wouldn't change a thing about it. Same for Breath of the Wild, man. Like, that's the thing. See, if you look at it, you're like, I wouldn't change anything about it. This is a perfect game. It honestly is. So
I've never felt that about any
games,
game ever. There's always something I would change. Just even a tiny thing.
I'll tell you something. I've been replaying the Arkham games. Put on Arkham Knight, and I'm like, I'm not really in the mood. Because I'm on New Game Plus for it. and I'm on nightmare mode, which means there's no icons above the enemies' heads, so you don't know when to counter. You have to just do visual cues, and when you're surrounded, it's very difficult. So I was playing Arkham Asylum. Man, that game's incredible. Like, you can take your open world and shove it up your ass. See that refined experience? It's so good, man. And this game was, what, 2009? I think this game was.
Yeah,
it was
something like 2008, 2009, yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal, man. The voice work and everything. Do you know what? I've been in a very Batman mood, Andy, like for our anniversary, because it was our anniversary. Obviously, last week. Was it last Monday? Yeah, it was last Monday. Was our 7th wedding anniversary, and we watched The Batman finally with Shovelface from Twilight. He's actually really good in this. Like, nice. I haven't seen anything with him in it, to be honest. I know I'm like, oh, boo the guy from Twilight, boo the guy from Harry Potter, because I haven't seen those films, but he's fine in this, man. Like, I'm like, why do people hate this guy? He seems like pretty decent actor. I don't.
See, to be fair, he's good in Harry Potter. Like, I've never seen him in anything else, but in Harry Potter, he's good.
He was incredible as Batman. Like, I'm like, he is fucking good. So I liked him. Gollum was a wee bit. Most folk wouldn't like. I had to point out to Tasha who it was. But anytime I see Serkis not like live action, I have to kind of. It's fucking. I can see Gollum in your face, man. But his acting's good. So like, I was like, okay, he's Alfred, and he played it very much like, I cannot remember the English guy's name that did it for Gotham, but he's very much that style of Alfred.
Oh,
you know the
guy.
guy.
Yeah, the guy that seems like he should be in fucking Coronation Street or EastEnders.
Yeah, or a Lock, Stock film or something. Yeah. All right, Bruce, I'm gonna slap you, silly. Yeah. So he's kind of like that, and then you've got Penguin played by Colin Farrell, played absolutely phenomenal, and he's getting a spin-off TV show from this. The Penguin. I cannot wait for it, because not only has he got a fat suit, Colin Farrell like put on so much weight for this role. Incredible. You can't really see it's Colin Farrell. So all these elements are brilliant. Catwoman's fantastic. I can't remember her name, but she's Lenny Kravitz's daughter. She's really good as Catwoman, man. Like, Selena Kyle's fantastic in this. Whole thing's great. And then the main bad guy is the Riddler. I've got no issue with that, right? My problem, and it was when I seen it straight away, why the fuck have you wrapped his face up with like gaffer tape? Like, it looks like a GIMP mask with goggles. And I'm like, there's no need, man. Like, you could have just shadowed out his face on the camera, because basically he's like, Batman, and he's got this mad, crazy army mask on, which it looks like gaffer tape across his face.
It looks like a rejected Slipknot mask concept.
Yes, but it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's like, that looks more like something that Hush, it would have been Hush, you know, Batman's enemy, Hush. Fine, but the Riddler, if you didn't want to give him a top hat and a green suit and all that, you could have easily just had him shadowed out his face with his glasses glowing white. And I was speaking to Frog, so I was like, because his kid goes to the same school as my kid, so I was like, why didn't they just do what they did in Sin City? And do you remember Daniel Radcliffe in Sin City was the wee evil guy? It was like a black and white movie, obviously Sin City, and with his character, you seen his silhouette and you could see the whites from his glasses like shining out of the darkness.
No, it was Elijah Wood, was it not?
Who did I say? Harry Potter.
Yeah, you said
that. Daniel Radcliffe looks like Elijah Wood. So yeah, anyway,
Wood,
you're right. I was Elijah Wood, but you know what I mean by that. They could have done it like that and just like misted out his face, but instead they had to give him this stupid mask, because throughout the minor spoilers, right? But he takes his mask off. Obviously, he gets unmasked because he ends up like Batman catches up to him, and I'm like, why didn't they just have him unmasked? He could have still been the Riddler. Like, there was no need for that at all. Like, it's grounded, this movie, right? But it's not as everything has to be creatable tech like in Batman Begins. This was grounded, but it still had a kind of fantasy-ish element in parts. But that part I just didn't like. The way the Riddler looked just pissed me off. I don't mind if his henchmen looked like that, because they had kind of similar masks and stuff. But the Riddler himself, that wasn't the Riddler. I don't even mind the big trench coat and stuff like that. They could have just had him with his hair and his glasses. That would have been enough to be the Riddler. We get it. Just draw a few question marks. Like, but anyway, if you haven't seen that film, highly recommend it. It's really good. He's not my favorite Batman still, definitely not. But I watched Batman Begins last night. I think was it last night I was watching? Yeah, it was last night. That film was fucking good. See, I tried to watch Doctor Strange 2 again. I know what happens in Doctor Strange 2, and I got another half hour out of it, and I'm like, and I'm even past the Illuminati part now, and I'm like, that was meant to be a cool moment, and it just felt like fucking scene to scene to scene to scene in the fights, and then I stick on Batman Begins, and I'm like, this film's like fucking 15 years old, and it's it's far better made than the churn movies like that come out from either side now, to be honest, like because the DC universe does similar now, but except Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman was great, but like this fucking Batman Begins is a great film, man. It's timeless. You watch it hasn't really aged. Obviously watching it 4K. Liam Neeson's incredible as Ra's or Ra's al Ghul, however you want to call him. Scarecrow's phenomenal in it. The guy that's in Peaky Blinders now plays Scarecrow. Cillian Murphy, I think his name is.
Oh yeah.
Really fucking good, man. Like it's not Ed Norton, is it? No. Who the fuck's the commissioner?
Can't remember,
but every part of that's good. However,
it's not Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman, that's the name I'm thinking of, not Chris Norton, but like Edward Norton. Sorry. Do
you know? Fun fact about Gary Oldman. Do you know he's related to Barbie?
I do know. So like the the Batman's fine. I love the League of Shadows training. It made everything that I watched in Arrow since look ridiculous. Like it was so well done, this movie, man. And then like the problem is, and it gets worse throughout the films, is his fucking voice as Batman. It's like he can't.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, but it doesn't start off like that. But it's like, he kind of speaks like this, and it's like you don't need to do that. Like he didn't need to do it like that. But it gets worse. Do you remember the one where it was in the third one? It's like, it's not a core, and he literally goes like that. It just sounds stupid, man. So that's the problem with these films, is like, even though they were good, I like Batman Begins the best. I can't say that they're my favorite Batmans because some parts of it's fucking stupid. And also seeing the Batsuit, something about it doesn't look right in the face. It's as if his face is too big for the mask they gave him. And it's kind of pushed out like that. Like, I am the night. I am vengeance. It's like, maybe that's why fucking Christian Bale's speaking like that. Did no one think is he able to breathe?
Could be,
But honestly, it does look like his face is slightly too big for the mask they got him. So yeah, that didn't work. And then I started The Dark Knight last night.
It's a good movie as well.
It's not as good. And Heath Ledger's not the best Joker for me. A lot of people loved him.
Mark Hamill was the best Joker.
You're correct. Mark Hamill's the best Joker. Kevin Conroy is the best Batman. But my favourite Joker on screen was Jack Nicholson in the first one. I loved his sort of chaotic, almost 50s gangster style, you know, when he was ruining the paintings with Prince's Bat Dance. I loved the lunacy of it. But yeah, I don't know, like Batman Begins, the story's great, but it was just like, Rachel, come back to me. And it's like somebody make sure he can breathe, man. Like he's so squashed in this mask. It looks like a hamster trying to push its face through the cage. Like, so that really annoyed me with it. And I think what it is because most of the time Batman's mask just comes there, right? Even in the new one. Seeing this, the mask came round under his chin and it was just kind of this bit sticking out. Like that. So all you can see is just this mouth sticking through. Feed me. Like, so anyway, Michael Caine's great as Alfred in those movies. But yeah, I'm going to finish it. And then it just gets stupid with Simba, Gotham is an ashes, you may die. Like, fucking, why do that? Like Tom Hardy's voice like that. That was a stupid decision.
That was terrible, yeah. That's the worst thing about that trilogy.
I'll tell you this as well. Everybody that says the Tumbler was cool or the best Batmobile was wrong.
No.
It's a tank. The best one was Michael Keaton's Batmobile or the one from Val Kilmer's Batman Forever that was a kind of spiky one. Both those Batmobiles far better.
Yep.
I even think Ben Affleck's Batmobile that was kind of like a smaller Tumbler was better than the Tumbler because it looked at least like a bat a bit. So even though he shot with it, but the Tumbler is just crap looking. Like I watched it last night and I'm like, this doesn't look like a cool car. Like if I was a kid, like when I was a kid, I seen the Michael Keaton ones and then obviously seen Val Kilmer and George Clooney. But like, so
and you're like, I want this as a toy.
I want it as a toy, but like you look at the Tumbler, you're like, I don't fucking want that as a toy. I bet you there's warehouses of Tumbler toys right now that couldn't sell. You're looking to see if you've got a Tumbler. I don't
have a Tumbler. I do have a Lego Batmobile. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's one of the long ones. Like, you know, the long nose thing.
But yeah, like, honestly, like, I know it's subjective and each to their own, very different styles, but I was thinking last night about how Michael Keaton almost got brought in and then they cancelled Batgirl. And then Ben Affleck's apparently replaced him because he's agreed to come back as Batman because of the new Warner Brothers people apparently doing better. That's what The Rock's been saying as well. And The Rock's company's getting more involved. Like, he wants to help sort it out because The Rock's not stupid. He knows that DC could make as much as Marvel if it was managed right. And The Rock's got the connections and stuff to make stuff happen. So his Black Adam movie, I'm going to watch it. Even though what he's saying is not true when he's like, oh, Black Adam's more powerful than Superman. He's not. I'm not a big DC.
I don't know.
I don't even. So Shazam can beat Black Adam. Shazam's the most powerful out of the Wizards. The Wizards chosen 7. So, anyway, but that's The Rock. He's one of these guys that, I don't want to get hit so many times on set and blah, blah, fuck off. Like, I have to win this fight. And okay, Mr. Prima Donna, just fucking act. Even though you've got one role, don't come after me, Rock. But anyway, those Batman movies are fine, but like I'm going to finish them quick because what I really want to watch is fucking not so much Batman and Robin, even though I don't hate it as much as some people. It's a silly movie, but Batman 1, 2, and 3 Returns isn't my favorite. I probably like the first one and Forever the best. I know you like Forever. Tasha really likes Forever. So that's her favorite one.
Yeah, Val Kilmer was my favorite Batman.
Same for Tasha. Like, we had Kiss from a Rose playing at our wedding, and we also danced to Clark Kent's prom dance for our first dance at our wedding. So that was from Smallville. But yeah, anyway, like, back to Gotham Knights. So Gotham Knights, I'm all in, man. Like, I've been all in since they could say that in the middle of this game you have to do a shit in the middle of the road, and I would still go. I'm still fucking at this point. I'm too far gone, man. Nothing can put me off this game because it got announced, and then they announced Suicide Squad, and everyone was like, "Oh, cool, Suicide Squad separate." And they're like, "No, Suicide Squad's Arkhamverse. This isn't." And it's like, the one that looks like the Arkham games isn't canon. And then they tell us more about it. Batman's dead, and I'm like, Batman's dead at the end of Arkham Knight too.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Something happened along the way, and they said this isn't because they could have had both. Because Suicide Squad's set in Metropolis, from what I can see, it's not set in Gotham. So it's like, you could have both of these games as spin-offs easily. And this one fits more because it's like Batman killed himself at the end of the first game, at the end of the third game. And it's like, well, that makes sense and even the video that's played in the trailer for this with I'm Gone, it's like, that's the fucking video that was played. This was the sequel. And see, in my mind, says the fucking sequel. However, I have noted, before we get into the scandal, Andy, we are going to get into it. We're not clickbaiting people. This is what we're talking about. There is a couple of things that means it can't be a sequel, but I think these were added after the fact when they said, "Oh yeah, you're not Arkham." Is Mr. Freeze can't be in this because he died in Arkham games. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that means it can't be. And I'm like, but villains and heroes die in comics and come back to life all the time. Yep. So see, in my mind, that's not changed anything. And then someone said, it wasn't, I've been avoiding it recently because people have got early copies and they're leaking stuff. I don't want to know anything. So this was a rumor before the leak started. Someone said, Joker's going to be in this. And I'm like, I hope he is. I fucking hope he is. And it might not be Mark Hamill, but I hope fucking Joker's in this because then it makes even more sense because Joker, I don't believe Joker's ever dead. And I don't believe Batman ever dead. I don't believe any superheroes ever fully die because it's comics. So that's why, like, see when they said the Batman is dead. And I'm like, no, he's not. But okay, we'll go with that. Because I've already read because this is a combination of 2 comics for people listening. It's a combination of Battle for the Kill, which is one of my favorite DC comics. And don't get me wrong, I've only been reading DC comics for 10 years. I've been reading Marvel since I could read near enough. But like, DC is really interesting because there's so much of it I haven't read. So I'm using the DC Universe app. Although I bought Battle of the Kill back before tablets were a thing. Battle for the Kill, basically, Batman's dead. And one of his proteges has to take over. And this is the story we've got here. We've got Nightwing, Dick Grayson, who was a former Robin. We've got Red Robin, or still Robin. I'm changing the costume for him in mind because I don't like just Robin. Like, I don't mind Tim Drake if it's Red Robin, but see, just Robin. No.
So which Robin is it? Tim Drake.
Tim Drake, who was the Robin in the Arkham games. Even though this isn't the sequel, Andy, it's still that because they could have made it Damon. They could have went as Damon.
Yeah.
And then they've got Batgirl, who once again isn't any other Batgirl because there are other ones. It's Barbara Gordon, and Barbara Gordon was Batgirl in the old ones. But that's the other point. Barbara Gordon was Oracle by the time of the Arkham games, so she couldn't be Batgirl.
She was in a wheelchair, wasn't she?
Yeah, because you did get to play a prequel episode, remember, in Arkham Knight, where you were Batgirl before she got paralyzed. But again, like, this could have been an Arkham prequel because, she got a magic serum. She's no longer in a wheelchair.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Lazarus Pitts fix all. Lazarus Pitts is DC's. Let's just fix this because we made a mistake, and then they have a whole.
Stone, like,
done. Just fix. And talking of them, the fourth member is obviously Mr. Jason Todd himself, my favorite DC character, the Red Hood, and I don't like his character model outside. He looks too much of a big brute. I don't think Jason Todd should be that beefy, but it's because each character plays different. You've got Batgirl, from what I've seen, plays most like Batman did in Arkham games. Robin plays like Robin did in the Batman in the Arkham games. Nightwing plays like Nightwing did in the Nightwing games, and Red Hood plays like Red Hood did in the Arkham games. Even though this is not an Arkham sequel, Andy. So I'm really looking forward to it. You can't switch them on the fly because you were asking about that with the Traverso and stuff. You can only change them at the Belfry at the tower between missions. So when it's open world exploring, you can go back to the tower and swap into another character. The good thing is that if you choose to go, say you get fed up of going Batgirl and you want to go as Nightwing, you go to Nightwing and see all the XP you've got. Nightwing's got it too, so you can level him up as well. So it's not start from scratch. So I really like that addition. The fact because some of these games would make it separate XP skill trees, so that if you want to play Nightwing, you need to go and replay the original levels. So if halfway through the game I'm like, this isn't work, because from what I see is some missions will need to be stealth. So Red Hood's no use for those missions from what I've seen, because Red Hood isn't very stealthy in this game, and he's not very stealthy in general. He just runs in, punches, shoots, and blows his way out of stuff. So you might want to choose the likes of Nightwing and Batgirl or Robin to get in those missions. So you've got the Bat Cycle as well, which I think is cool because we've obviously had the tank. It's not a core! And Arkham Knight. And sadly, the videos I've seen of that is the one disappointing part, because the fucking Batmobile in the Arkham Knight games was slow as shit. It wasn't exciting. It had a turbo button, but they overused it. I think that was the biggest problem. I think if they don't overuse the Bat Cycle, I'll be fine with it. But again, the speed, I've seen it roaring through the city, and it's like, this just looks like it's moving as fast as the Arkham Knight car. So
I think when you've got a densely packed city like that,
can't do that quick because it has to load. It can't load that.
Well, not even just that. Like you're just crashing into shit all the time if it's going really, really fast, unless you're really good at driving fast. Like Cyberpunk, I had that issue in Cyberpunk because the city's so densely packed. Like anytime you get any speed up in the car, smash, you crash. That wall.
You're 100% right. So I'm fine with it, but most of the traversal that I like doing, even in Arkham Knight, I like going rooftop to rooftop, soaring down, jumping in folk. I sometimes like roaming the streets, just having a look. And looking at this one, it seems that the city's more populated than Arkham Knight, because like Arkham City, it was cordoned off. It was just criminals. Arkham Knight, the citizens had been warned to stay at home because of the Arkham Knight's attacks on the city. So there was no civilians. And this one, it's the civilians and things, and you have to rescue people and stuff. And there's ongoing crimes as we're used to. But we compared the map sizes this week. Well, I sent them to you. And Arkham Knight had 3 boroughs. This has got 5 boroughs. And looking at the city, we can talk about the bad points in a minute. Don't worry, I'm not getting off of it. Looking at the city, it looks far denser than Arkham Knight. Like Arkham Knight, I played it recently. It's a great fucking game. But when you're on a tall rooftop, you can see everywhere. You can see that invisible line, and you can see where you're not going to be able to get to because that's the map. This game, when I've seen folk climbing up stuff, you can't see because the city's that populated.
They put fog in.
No, they haven't put fog in this one. It's like, well, Arkham Knight was covered with rain to cover up draw distance because every time you play Arkham Knight, it's raining.
What was the other story that this is based on? So you said it was Battle for the Cowl, and
so we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So Battle for the Cowl is obviously Batman's dead. Somebody has to be the successor, right? So the other is the Court of Owls, which I have just started reading. It's part of the New 52, so it's one you can jump in because the New 52 is where they just went, fuck it, restart everything. They kept some elements of Batman, like they never went back to Dick Grayson as Robin, he was still Nightwing, but they changed a lot. So the Court of Owls is one of Batman claims that he would have known about it if there was such a thing. But that in secret, that Batman did not know about it. And it's this total underground Illuminati-style secret society who kind of control Gotham from the shadows, more or less. And they are the other half of this story as well. So you've got the two stories there combined to make up this game. I'm thinking 30, 40 hours for this game without many side quests and stuff, but I want to play some side stuff and do some things like that as well.
I don't think it's going to be that long. I think it's going to be 25
hours. It's fine. So I'm looking forward to it. I've got it digital. I've got it pre-ordered. I can't wait for it. It's a Batman game. I can't not be excited by it. And like, tell me it's not Arkhamverse, but it's made by the guys that made Batman Origins. I'm like,
yeah, it's fine. I like that game. Yeah.
So like, people have been beaten down in this game before this week's scandal, and we'll just get into this week's scandal just now. So I can't say I'm not slightly disappointed, and this is mostly because of the Avengers game that this became apparent to me. So when Next Gen came through, me and Andy spent a while thinking, what exactly is Next Gen to us? What does it mean? Is it the games we play? Is it the exclusives? Is it the graphics? Turns out it's none of these things. The thing that makes a game these days feel most Next Gen is the frame rate. Doesn't break a game by it not being, because we'll use the Avengers game as an example because it's kind of similar to this except with a lot less story, because at least Gotham Knight seems like it's got a complete story instead of a single player story and then just keep doing the same missions over and over, which is what the Avengers is, even though I still enjoy it. So the Avengers was 30 frames per second when it launched, and we played it fine, played absolutely fine. But when they brought that next gen patch out, listeners, viewers, me and Andy played it in 4K. We're like, that's cool. And I'm like, Andy, switch it to switch it to performance. And you're like, oh, holy shit. Oh, this feels fucking great. This is so much better. And it was. And like, yeah, you're not getting the shiny reflections of the light. Couldn't give a shit. See the movement in the characters and the way that the camera spun round. It was like, this is it. And it's funny that Marvel's Avengers was the game that made me anyway, and I know you partly as well. This is what Next Gen is. This is what it is, 60 FPS. So from then on out, what we've had as standard for most games is at least two options, performance or fidelity. Fidelity is your 4K ray tracing. And don't get me wrong, in the likes of games like Resident Evil 3, it looks phenomenal because you've got like explosions, you've got the lighting effects. Resident Evil 2, I haven't tried it on, but like Resident Evil 3, because you're outside a lot more, you're down the streets, those street lights look phenomenal, like absolutely brilliant to play. Fine. Not the fastest moving game entry. 60 frames per second mode, however, it becomes buttery smooth. Games like Spider-Man, first definitely. You don't notice it, but Spider-Man's even got another option where it's like balanced, and it gives you not 1080p, but slightly above. I think it's 1444 or something like that. So it's like upscaled 4K, upscaled HD basically, and it's got light ray tracing, but it's 60 frames per second, and it's perfect. That's the perfect balance for me. So every game that I get now, when it comes out, I'm like, performance mode, please, 60 frames per second, and I play it, and I'm quite happy. However, the news story this week, Andy, and a lot of folk are absolutely fucking livid, and I get why they're livid. Again, it's not putting me off the game, but I get why they're livid, because on the PC, they released the minimum specs. That was where this started, as you know. And the minimum specs were way below what the PS5 and the Xbox Series X can do. Way below. So it was like, to run this game on 60 FPS, this is what you need. And everyone was like, oh, that's cool. PlayStation can do that, no bother. But then, for a day or two, Warner Brothers went quiet and weren't answering people's questions, going, okay, now do console. Okay, now do console. And then on the Discord, one of the developers came out and said, yeah, it's fixed 4K ray tracing on consoles, and the worst part is that's 30 frames per second. Now, this is a whole load of bullshit. The reason being because we've seen the low specs available for 60 on PC. At least give fans the option is what I would say. Like, at least give me the option to flick that off. Like, because I get that you want your game to look good in screenshots. I get it from a marketing side, but to not give fans the option, like,
I can tell you why. There's one reason why this can't have a 60 frames per second mode.
Because it's a last gen game?
No, it's actually not because of that. It is because of the Xbox Series S. Xbox Series S would be incapable of putting this
Yeah,
game
you're
out
right.
at 60 frames a second.
You're 100% right. That's why it is. So why not just say for Series X and PS5 only? They could do that.
Totally. They should 100% do that, but I don't know if Microsoft lets you split it.
So let me do it in PS5 then.
Yeah, do it on PS5. That's fine. I'd be cool with that.
It's the lead platform. It's always the lead platform for the Batman games. They're the ones. PlayStation's the ones in all the adverts I've seen. It's annoying as fuck. And I never thought about the Series S, but that is exactly why the Series S is to blame. I always thought the Series S is going to be a stumbling block this generation. I didn't think it was a good move when I heard about it. I'm like, why would you do that? I get that you're getting more folk on blah, blah, but you're kind of restricting what you can do with the Series X by doing this. Like, because the Series S wasn't much more powerful than the One X. Wasn't much more powerful. So, yeah, you're probably right. But again, what they should do at Warner Brothers is go, look, the fans are going nuts here, guys. We need to do it. And they're like, well, you can't. Okay, well, we're going to do it in PS5, so at least please some of them. That's what to do.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that would please most of the people that will buy this game.
100%. Because it's the lead platform again. So, like, it's a shame, right? Is it going to... I might notice some bits that's annoying playing it, like not slow down, but like camera drag, because that's what it basically boils down to. But at the end of the day, because I don't know what it's looking like 60.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, definitely.
That's my argument for it. And it's like, I'm playing Arkham Asylum just now, locked to 30. Fine. Absolutely fine. Played Arkham Knight, 30. Absolutely fine. Still looks good. Yes, you're right. It's PS4 games, but they're locked to 30.
As long as it's locked to 30 as well, like, and it doesn't have frame dips, like, because
I think it has to be
like, and it 100% will be like, because if you get dips that go down to like 2015 stuff like that, it's really noticeable, and like games are like chugging along like this, and that's terrible. But like 30 frames a second, if it's locked, it's smooth. So
yeah, I think down the line we might get, because games do this. Like, they've got the new DLC coming at the end of November as well, the 4-player stuff, which sounds like a challenge tower sort of thing. I think they'll give the option. They've got to unlock it, even if, like we said, it's just for PlayStation, because they can't do it in Series S. Microsoft won't allow it. You're right. They'll say no. And the reason is because if that's them admitting the Series S isn't powerful. That's what they would be doing. If they said Series X only, they don't want to say out loud. And they want people in the Series S to feel like they've went next gen when they absolutely haven't. Sorry to Series S owners, but you haven't went next gen. You've took a middle step. Series X is current gen, next gen. It's not, again, I'm going to play through this game and it's probably not going to bother me at all. Like, I'm down for the story. In my mind, what this is an Arkham game that I can play through with you. And the fact that you can be at like North Gotham fighting people, say, like on top of rooftops next to the Wayne buildings, like, do you know what I mean? And I could be down the docks in a building doing something else while we're on the same map. Fuck it. Like, how can I not want that game? How can I not? Because we've been fans of the Arkham games. Like, Arkham City came out just about when we started this show. That was one of the first games I remember discussing in the show, Arkham City. Like, we've always loved these games. We sat and watched the countdown for the first time with Batman Arkham from about 2 hours, just with the clock on the PlayStation, because it was a novelty to buy something only digital. That was my point where I went, fuck, I'm just getting everything digital anyway now. But that was fun. Like, the amount of memories I've had there, but we've never been able to play it together. The only game that allowed you to play co-op was Arkham Origins, when it allowed Batman and Robin, like, sort of challenge rooms that you could do together, like rooms to take out enemies.
Yeah, and I don't think that feature was available on the version I played, because I don't think it was on the Wii U.
It wasn't on the Wii U. It was only on the PlayStation and 360. So you never played that version. I put it on and played with some randoms, and it seemed fun. But this is different. This is the whole story. This is the whole fucking story. I can play with you. I've seen previews where it's like the strategies all change when you play with someone else, because the bosses up their game, and sometimes they pull out moves that you don't see when you're taking them on solo because they're fighting two people. And obviously sometimes henchmen will appear to keep the other person busy while the other person, and that just seems fun to me, man. It just seems cool. And like, what I don't like is people's garbage takes on things. Like, I'm not going to name names, but when
take, he doesn't like my take.
no, you're just annoying me the whole week. But like the take that I seen online was trying to paint a picture that wasn't true of a game that's already going to get slighted by some people, and it was saying that during the playthrough, randomly some music started playing. and they paused and thought, "What the fuck?" You know who I'm talking about that said this? And I'm like,
yeah, okay.
And I'm like, I've seen the full playthrough. You meet Harley Quinn and she starts taunting you through the speakers and she's playing the fucking music. You made out as if the game just randomly started playing a pop song, Living La Vida Loca. It didn't just randomly start playing that pop song. That's totally taken. It's like a journalist taking a quote out of context to make a headline. That's what you've done there. That's not true. Harley Quinn, you meet her in the jail. She sends out a balloon because I've seen the full clip and she's speaking through the speakers. You know the way Harley does. And she plays Living La Vida Loca, which translates to Living the Crazy Life. So it suits Harley Quinn. She's playing it at you as you're getting attacked.
Yeah.
It didn't just start playing in the middle of the game like it's Guardians or something. So that pisses me off when folk do that, like trying to get a hot take out of nothing when the game's already getting bashed unfairly in my mind. I'm not defending it. This game could completely suck ass. I don't know. I don't think it will. I think I'm really interested in the story, but at the same time, these people are already kicking it before they've even tried it. Or they've tried it and they've taken sections of it out of context because it's like, I've seen other people's previews. I've seen that whole scene. It didn't just play out like that. And I don't like the way that was written. So that was
they probably just didn't pay any attention to what was going on.
Oh, you have to because it's a full cutscene.
That's what I mean though. Like see if you're sitting like this.
Shouldn't be a journalist then. Your job's to cover it properly. Yeah, but if they were sitting like that, then they shouldn't have been covered. I don't believe that person should be covered in much stuff anyway. But anyway, that's just my take on it. But yeah, I don't like that. And don't get me wrong, this game could be trash. It could be. I don't think it will be, but I don't think this is going to be a 90% game. I don't even know if it's going to be like an 85 game, but I think this is going to be minimum 70 up for me, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Arkham Origins, I would say, is 75 for me. And if this is anywhere close to this, I'm fine.
Yeah. So it's like 7 out of 10. Good game. I'm fine playing a good game. I'm quite happy and I'll have fun with it. Like, that's cool. Yeah. You were talking about Elden Ring in relation to this. So, because this game is locked at 30. Elden Ring is not locked at 30
anymore. So when you played it was 30. Now they've added a patch. When you first played this game, it was 30, Andy, and it was 60 on PS4. Yes, 100% true.
No.
Mm-hmm. It was 30.
No.
Mm-hmm. It was 30.
I played Elden Ring for 160 hours. It was not 30.
When it first came out, it was 30 on PS5 and 60 on PS4. They then added a patch a few weeks after that added 60 to the PS5 version. When you played the majority of this game, it was 30 FPS.
I played it for months. It was not 30 for a second.
30
months I played this game for. And it may have been 30 at the beginning, but it was not locked. It was not a locked 60 when they patched it either. It was a variable kind of frame rate because they didn't cap it. They just uncapped the frame rate for the patch. So it was like 45 to 60. It never really hit 60, but it was always above 30.
Elden Ring struggles to hit 60 FPS on PS5 and Series X.
Yeah,
new report suggests Elden Ring does not run at stable 60 on either of them in any graphic mode. This is with the new patch that came out. Most gameplay of Elden Ring is between the 30 and 45 FPS range.
Which is higher than 30.
Digital Foundry also confirms Elden Ring rarely runs at 60.
Okay? Yeah, that's fine. Higher than 30 though.
However, when you first played this game, it was 30.
I played this game for months.
I'm not saying you didn't, right? But when the game came out, you played it. You claimed it was Game of the Year while it was 30.
And it still is Game of the Year. What is the date of the patch? Let me know.
When did Elden Ring come out?
Like March or something? February?
Elden Ring launch date was the 25th of February. And when did the 60 FPS patch come out? July.
When did it come out?
July,
right.
15th of July, 1.05 was the 60 FPS patch. So, and the game came out February, March, April, May, June, July. So, yeah. So most of the time you played this game, it was in 30.
I stopped playing it in May, so.
So you never played it in the almost 60?
I don't think
that affect it?
True.
It is.
I don't think it was locked to 30.
Where is it?
I don't think it was locked to 30. Because Digital Foundry talking about it was like back in March.
February.
Like when it came out.
25th of February, Andy.
Yeah, 24th of February. Launch day patch 1.2. The frame rate mode runs between 45 and 60 frames a second.
No, it doesn't. If you
on
didn't buy
PS5.
an article, it
That's what it
really
says.
no. People were playing it in PS4 because of this. July was when 1.5 came out that fixed the patch and made it 60.
Launch day patch. Look here. This is from Eurogamer's
I've
article.
read it and I've just that's the one I was just reading to you. And what they've said is it rarely ever gets that, and it's usually between the 30 to 45 range.
Still higher than 30. But anyway, it doesn't really bother me that much because we won't have played it in 60.
That's the difference.
Like that's the difference. So and the same with Elden Ring as well. Like I didn't play it at locked 60 frames a second, so I didn't really notice. And it'll be the exact same here. Like
because to be honest, did you notice there was a problem with the Avengers before you put it up to 60? Because
no, 100% not. But we weren't really aware of it before the Avengers, to be fair. Like now we can be aware of it. And there has been some games I've played on PS5, even in the last couple of weeks. I was playing Stray, and it had frame rate dips for some reason, even though it's only a fucking cat game. And that 100% noticed it.
You think so?
I 100% noticed it, yes. Because it was stuttering really badly. Like, you know, that kind of way where the camera's jittery.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm like, what? Why has this game got that? Like, that's insane. So, like, I would notice it if there was jitters like that, but like, if it's just lock 30, it'll be fine.
They haven't confirmed or denied whether it is lock 30 or whatever.
No, they said it's lock 30.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, they said they capped it in that Discord thing. I'm sure she said it's the frame rate's capped at 30, and it'll be locked 30. So.
Well, I just like when you see gameplay, like you can see it here. It looks like the same slow combat from Arkham. Do you know what I mean? Like you're taking on a guy at a time, you're dodging. This is obviously Nightwing gameplay. You're fighting brutes, you know. Like it just, I think this doesn't look bad.
Your only difference is going to be that Spider-Man has been out now, and Spider-Man has a similar combat mechanics, and Spider-Man was 60. That's the only difference in that.
Spider-Man wasn't 60 when I played it, mate. Spider-Man became 60 on PS5. I played it in PS4.
Yeah, but Spider-Man Miles is 60, which is the most recent one. So like that's the quickest thing that people will compare this to is Miles, and obviously
of course they will.
Spider-Man, and like obviously we're watching a video here, like and it's compressed and whatnot. Like so you can't really say like, oh yeah, it looks great, it looks bad. The only way to do that is from actually playing the game. But like. Well, what's happening here looks fine.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It looks more. This is the scene. I've muted the audio because this is from IGN, as you can see. But like, this is the part where that was the part where you were fighting as Harley. But these are obviously the streets of Gotham. But there was a section where I wanted to show you, and I have no idea what it is. But it was like Nightwing in the city, and it was like, is it this bit? No.
But I mean, I think we're going to play this game, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. Like, I think it's going to be a good game.
That's what I mean. Jason looks stupid to me. Why does he look like?
He looks like fucking Hank from. It looks like Hank from.
He
Titans.
Does.
Yeah.
He does look like Hank from Titans, which is awesome, and I can't wait for season 4 starting in a few weeks either. My only problem is they're doing a Gotham Knight show, right? They've just messed everything up. I'm not even going to talk about that just now because they actually have messed everything up with that show. What they've done is they've made it nothing to do with these Gotham Knights. That's all. Batman's got a brand new son for some reason.
I mean, it's a take in it, like a different universe, whatever. Cool.
It's not even Damien. So that makes no sense to me. Is it this bit? Yeah, so this is how Red Hood traverses the city.
That looks dumb as fuck.
It does. Why he just can't have a glider, I have no idea. But it's the fact that you can see the two people on screen there. You can see in the background, someone's playing as Nightwing, someone's playing as Red Hood. So Let's see if we can see gliding somewhere. That's what I wanted to look at. Oh yeah, there is at the start. Sorry, my bad. So this is obviously I look at Gotham City. So you can see when he spins the camera around, like the verticality is much bigger. Like the only big building in Arkham Knight really is Wayne Tower.
Yeah.
But you can see Wayne Tower on the right there, and his building's bigger.
Thanks, Fortnite glider.
That's what I said to you. It just looks like Fortnite. But it's fine. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what else?
I don't like the way that. Well, the thing is, he could glide in the cartoon. He had like sort of bits under his arm. He could glide. It was like a wingsuit. I don't like the jump.
Wing, yeah.
I just don't like the jump with Red Hood, and it's meant to be Lazarus powers, which okay, fair enough. But Robin can teleport because he's got Justice League tech. But it's this. This is apparently it's quite fun to play because I was watching a guy cover it, and he was like, "This looks stupid." He's like, "Oh, hold on, this is so much fun." And like apparently it controls really well. So that's all that I really care about. But I mean, like even the finishes like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you could be fighting here and then I drop in and help or vice versa. And then look in the background, stuff's on fire. The streets of Gotham, when they were racing through that in one of the other videos, the whole thing just looks like so much fun, man. That's him fighting the court owls down here as well, one of the brutes there. Obviously, you've tried to stay away from this sort of stuff, so I don't want to show like too much, so that's why I'm skipping through it. But there's like stealth sections as well.
I'm like, I'm not watching anything, and he's like, I'm gonna force you to watch it on the podcast.
No, this is I was talking about the density of Gotham. Look at the GCPD, even look at that.
Yeah,
Arkham Knight wishes it looked like that. And like, see when you see the fog, it's atmospheric. It's not just covering things up. Like Gotham's always looked foggy and
yeah, totally. It's fine. It fits the aesthetic.
But like
wait, can you play it in the daytime in this game?
No, you do get to play the daytime missions are when you're out of costume, but you're not actually doing anything.
Okay,
solving stuff in the Belfry and things like that. Because obviously,
like the Spider-Man, like daytime sort of, the Spider-Man missions when you're not in the suit.
Peter Parker, yeah, that kind of thing. But I don't think that is in depth. I think it's basically restricted to the Belfry, the Bell Tower sort of thing, where you're doing stuff. I don't like Nightwing here with this mullet, but it still gets stealth. Look, how is this not the Arkham game? How is this not Arkham? That even moves like Batman does in Arkham Asylum. I bet you there's grates as well that you have to pull off.
Yeah, probably.
Do you know what I mean? That looks like the middle of the Arkham Asylum. But like the shadows and everything, like it looks. I can't wait for this game, man. I honestly think I will stop it yet, but I honestly think this is going to be something special. Like for me, anyway. I really can't wait for it. So I really hate the fact that all these folk are writing a game off that they've not even played yet because of frames per second.
I do understand it. Like if people, it's kind of like once you've gone to that, like you don't want to ever go back.
Well, what I compared it to in the shower the other day, because obviously this has been in
the shower. In the shower.
Yeah, I was thinking about it in the shower. I was like, do you know what? This is a bit like when you had a Game Boy and you went to Game Boy Color.
Shower thoughts.
No, yeah, Ali shower thoughts. But you know when you go from Game Boy to Game Boy Color, you couldn't go back. It was like, I can't go back to green and black now. I've got full color. Or like when you went from Mega Drive from 8-bit, it was like, I can't go back now, man. Like I've seen what this system can do.
This needs to be a TikTok series, Ali. Ali's shower
thoughts. With me actually in the shower. Hello.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's what I was thinking of today. So yeah, I'm fine with it, man. Like you're picking it up this week as well, aren't you? I think.
Yep.
But Amazon messed you about yet again, man. That was funny. Andy Beshamy goes, "Did this happen to you?" And I went, "Let me check." I went, "No, my pre-order says 12 o'clock." Because I had to think myself, how did I order this? And I remember I pre-ordered digital. So
yeah, like I pre-ordered it from Amazon. Like September, well, maybe September sometime, like over a month ago anyway.
A while ago, yeah.
Yeah, ages ago. And I was looking at my pre-order to see when roughly my payment would come out. And I'm like, oh, it comes out on the 22nd. I was like, wait a minute, that's like a Saturday. The games don't come out on a Saturday. And I'm like, this game comes out on the 21st, but they're not going to get it to me until the day after it comes out. Like, even though a month before it come out, what the fuck? And I pay for Prime. Like, no.
Yeah, the more money Amazon's made, the worse they've got, because Amazon used to get the game to you before release date. Remember, that was why you ordered from Amazon.
Yeah, it used to come out a day before. Yeah. Maybe they just put that as the date just in case it doesn't arrive to you on the day.
I wouldn't risk it, man. If I seen that and it's a game that I want to play, I ain't risking it.
Yeah, exactly. And like on Saturday,
you'll find, well, I'll be dipping into this at Thursday at midnight, and then I'll be going, okay, I'll wait until you've got it.
Yeah, and on Saturday, I'm not likely to be able to play it because I'll be working, and then and then I've got other stuff to do when I get home. So, but on Friday I want to play it, so I will go and buy it from Game, even though I hate giving Game money on Friday.
Get it at Asda or Tesco.
I could do that, I suppose. Yeah,
you might even get it cheaper.
It's more convenient for me to go and buy it in Game because then I'm not rushing about after work. But anyway, I'll work that out on Friday.
Yeah, I mean the game looks cool. I've even pre-ordered. There's a comic coming out alongside it. I pre-ordered it. But before we move on from Batman's, the DC app is garbage compared to Marvel, man. Like, Marvel occasionally will load a screen, you have to come out and like shut the app and whatever now and then. DC does it most times you're reading it, and it's like, I've got it on a good deal. So it's like, it's normally like £50 a year, which is still cheaper than Marvel's. And it's like, I got it on day one offer at £34 for the year. Like, that's fine for me. So I've been reading it on and off. And obviously when I stop working full time, I'm just doing my writing and stuff like that. It's like I've cancelled my Marvel, so I went DC, and they've got this option now where it's called Ultra, and it's not a bad price. It's like £100 normally, but £70 just now an offer for the year, and you get the comics 30 days after they've been released in stores. 30 days. That's not a long wait. That's like 4 weeks behind, because DC's 6 months behind, and I think Marvel's the same at the moment on the unlimited plans. Marvel has to come out and answer that, though, because they can't just let DC go, okay, 30 days and you'll get it. And see, by the way, your comic offer, once you've made your first payment in the UK as well, it's no extra payment, Andy. You know how they said there's an exclusive comic that gets sent out? Exclusive cover for Ultra members? Nope. I've cancelled it because I don't like how the app works. I'm like, I'm not paying that, even though it's only £70 for the whole year. I'm not paying it because the app's not good enough for me. 30 is enough. If they improve it, I'll maybe think about taking out a yearly one down the line. But the comic does get sent to you. So it's an exclusive limited edition comic. And it's only available to people with DC Ultra, and it's a physical version, and it gets sent to your door.
Nice.
It's a nice wee incentive. I would have preferred it if the app had stayed how it was originally, so it had the comics and the TV shows and everything all in one place, because that seemed the brilliant thing. And then
did they not still have it? Did they not still have it like that in some countries? No,
because HBO Max is a thing now. They want to make you pay for that,
right?
Because that's where they put all their money into. That's where Zack Snyder's Justice League came out. But when this app first released, it was cool because it was like, here's your TV shows. And it was like, if you like watching this show, here's the comic. Don't get me wrong, they've got the section like Marvel do. If the latest movie's out, like say She-Hulk's out, it will say Marvel Update Unlimited, so that it says, catch up about She-Hulk, find out who She-Hulk is. So DC does that as well. And like, there's a lot more of DC stuff that I'll be like, oh, I haven't read that, than there is Marvel, to be honest with you, apart from more recent Marvel stuff. But I've read that much Marvel in the past that sometimes I'll be midway through an arc or something. I'm like,
oh, I've read this.
I've fucking read this, man. This is what happens. Mostly with X-Men. See, because X-Men, when I used to read X-Men, I think there was 4 or 5 ongoing monthly ones. You had like Wolverine, you had X-Men Blue, you had X-Men Red, you had Gold X-Men, you had Uncanny X-Men, you had fucking Cyclops, and like there was all these different issues. You had to read them all to get the complete story. And like, I'll be reading one, and it's obviously like a collected arc of something, like a graphic novel almost in digital form. And I'm halfway through, and I'm like, fuck, they're not the bad guy. It's like, say Mephisto, or like, oh, Magneto's not doing this for evil just now. He's good, because 9 times out of 10, Magneto's get good intent. Really, he does. But like, so
not so much in live action.
No, not in live action. In the comics, sometimes Magneto's a good guy. They kind of tried it with the First Class sort of way, but it ended up just being bad. It's easier to do it that way on screen than it is comics. It just is. But like with DC, I started with New 52. Like, one of the first ones I read was Blackest Night with Green Lantern. It was a fantastic story. And then obviously I moved on to Battle for the Cowl, Batman R.I.P., those sort of stories, like this time in this, my cat's on my back trying to climb on my head, so like that's why I keep doing this. And like, see, just digging through it, I'm like, oh, I haven't read that. Oh, cool, I haven't read that. And obviously I've collected all the Earth 1 DC comics. They're obviously their ultimate version, really good. But yeah, I like that. And if you're a comic reader that hasn't read too much DC, and you can get it at like the £34 or the £50, I can't recommend the full £100 one just now, even though it's 4 weeks behind normal, behind physical, because the app just isn't great. But Marvel's app was terrible the first few years when it first came out. And DC's app only came out in April.
Depends on your platform as well for Marvel's app. So if you have a Microsoft Surface tablet,
don't get it.
Don't get it because you can't get an app on it, and it's terrible reading it as a web page. But if you've got an Android or iPhone, Marvel Unlimited is good.
Yeah, but yeah, DC app. I'm reading it on an iPad Pro, and it's not good at all. Like not one bit at all. It's annoying because there's sites where you shouldn't read things on them because they're free, but there's sites that load things better and have a better interface that's free to read. Like you can read comics free online on certain websites and it displays them quicker. And I'm like, if I can go here and read them quicker, I know I shouldn't. But the other night I've been reading Batwoman, who I've never read before. Really good, man. And a comic wouldn't load, and I had to go and read it on a free website. And I'm like, the way that I see this is like having a ROM but owning the full version. I've paid DC my money.
Yeah, you paid them, and they just couldn't provide you with the content.
So I'm reading it elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then Black Adam, the new series, I wanted to read that because I've only read Black Adam's only showed up a few times. It just wouldn't open. It was like, it's funny at first because like Alfred from the Batman animated series pulls up and says, "Oh dear, there's been an issue with this page," and like I'm like, that's quite funny. But see, when it happens over and over, you're like, fuck off, Alfred. So yeah, it's decent. I mean, it's cheap if you want to read comics and you can get it £34 for a whole year. It's what, £3 an issue, £3 a single issue. So, and this is giving you the entire catalog. And if you've never read DC like me, it doesn't matter that it's 6 months behind because you've got a lot of catching up to do. What I would recommend though as well, start at the New 52. Don't go before that. Just start at New 52. Read on from there.
So how much is it for a full year of it?
For the standard version that I've got, that's 6 months behind. The promo offer is £34 as far as I know, unless they've changed that.
That's quite good. Yeah, that's quite good.
So like I pay $34.99 a year. Sorry, he's climbing up the back of my head. $34.99 a year, and it runs on as long as you keep paying it. So unless they've got rid, the standard price is $50, I think. As far as I know, the standard just without promos $50. I don't know if the promo's still on. So even at $50, I don't think
even that's a good price. Yeah, definitely. Good Christmas stocking filler for somebody.
Absolutely. If you can get them a voucher or a code or just give them an iTunes or Google Play voucher, that'll do it for a comic fan. But yeah, that's it. Gotham Knights is 30 frames per second, and me, I don't care. It's not. Same. It didn't put me off. My first thought was like, oh, it's a shame. And it is a shame. But my other thought, like we've discussed, we're not going to know the difference.
It doesn't really put me off either. Like I just thought it was funny to wind Ali up earlier in the week.
All week. No, not earlier. All week. And I knew what you were getting at, but I rose to it every single time you messaged me. And I just kept saying, don't buy it. Just don't buy it. I nearly said, you're not allowed to buy it. I'm not going to play it with you. I'm not going to. So, yeah, that's Andy for you. But yes, we have got a few more talking points, Andy, before we want to talk about games that we've played, because I've only got a couple. I think I've only got a couple things. But I want to talk about your favorite thing, Andy. The most wonderful thing that has came out of Sony in years.
Or trophies.
No, not trophies, Andy. Not trophies. PlayStation Stars, Andy.
I don't understand what this is.
Like PlayStation Stars, I jokingly said, wouldn't it be funny if it didn't backdate stuff? Guess what, Andy?
It doesn't.
It
doesn't backdate
it starts from scratch. Oh, Bond's turned my camera now. Bond, can you just get down off the table? So, like, the other thing is, Andy, and this is what pissed me off. Obviously, as you know, I've pre-ordered Gotham Knights. I've pre-ordered God of War and pre-ordered Sonic on my PlayStation recently. Because I pre-ordered them before PlayStation Stars, Andy, they have not counted towards reward points.
That sucks. Especially because the games come out now.
They're not out yet.
In the future, yeah.
So I've got a good mind. It would just be a hassle, though, because you have to wait for the refund to go back in and cancel them all. Because the only reason I'm thinking, Bond, I'm sorry, buddy, but you're going to have to get off the table, mate.
Clang.
Oh, he's moving my camera. So, like, the reason that I'm thinking about doing this, Andy, and I don't care about the trophies, and I'm going to get rid of that screen, sorry. The only reason that I'm thinking about doing it is because you can add up the points, like I said, that I wanted them to do, like Xbox rewards, and you can get like £5 off voucher. You can get PlayStation vouchers for this. So I'm like, well, hold on a minute. That's 3 full price games. that I've pre-ordered here that I'm not getting anything for because I pre-ordered them a week before PlayStation Stars.
Yeah.
If I cancel them, you're going to give me reward points because I bought a game today, sorry. I got the new Ghostbusters game. I'll talk about that in a minute. And it gave me like 350 points because it was like £35, $34.99. So I'm like, well, hold on. It was the deluxe version of Gotham Knights, deluxe version of Sonic, and the deluxe version of God of War I pre-ordered. So I want those points because I can redeem that and get some money back. I just don't like the way it's set up. I think I jokingly trying to annoy you, said, I bet you it starts from now. I think I said that the last time we were on the show. And it is true. Like, it doesn't, like, you get a trophy for your case, your virtual non-NFT NFT thing every month when you log in. But not only that, it's focused towards people like you that have got the PlayStation Extra Plus thing, because it tells you to log into games there. And then it tells you also, here's games to buy that if you buy these games, we'll give you points. So they're trying to force you to buy certain games to get points. And I'm like, that sucks. That does suck. So what do you think about PlayStation Stars, Andy, after you said it was going to be great? You can't wait for it. Disappointed?
Did I say that? I don't know.
Yes, you did. It's a Sony idea. Of course, you said something along those lines.
So I am level 1.
I'm beating you. I'm beating you in Stars level, which is newer than Trophy, and new is always better.
Because you've bought things on it. Like, what level are you? Level 2 or 3 or something?
Level 2 or 3, yeah.
So I've got three collectibles. I've got a microscope, I've got a T-Rex, and a banana.
Yeah, I've got the same. I'm level 2, Andy, of PlayStation Stars.
Because you bought things. How many points do you have then?
350 points, Andy.
Yeah,
because I bought one thing.
Because you bought one thing, yeah. I mean, you can spend the points on stuff. So, like, you could buy a pink monkey diorama or other monkey dioramas from Ape Escape if you wanted.
I'm not buying them, but what I do like is if you go into the rewards section, 5,000 points will get you 20 quid. And 1,250 will get you a fiver. So I'm like, if I cancel all these game pre-orders and reorder them all again, I'll now probably get enough to get a fiver back. But it's a hassle to me, so you know I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, because you already pay for them. See, if they were like pre-orders that didn't come off till later.
Yeah, so I've paid for these. So then you have to wait for the refund, and then you have to order them again. I can't be fucked with that. So
yeah,
but it's like, why shouldn't it be backdated? Like, so yeah, it's PlayStation Stars is useless.
I think terrible. It's because they won't backdate it because obviously they told you like roughly when it would come out, right? So and obviously you made the pre-orders before the launch date for it.
They didn't tell us they were going to offer money off stuff. They just told us we were going to get silly wee items.
See, I thought it was going to be related to like you earning
trophy level.
Yeah,
it's not. It's buy stuff.
It's buying stuff. It's similar to the way Nintendo works. Like Nintendo's
Xbox has got the best thing for this. Again, see their reward scheme. It is based on achievements. It's like, see in this game, get these achievements, or play one of the games on Xbox Game Pass.
So, the Xbox One, this seems like it's more achievable to actually get things out of, though, because like you said, you got 350 points from just buying that one game.
Spend £35. £35. So it's like 100 points for a tenner, basically.
Yeah, so you're gonna end up getting like that £5 within a few games, right?
I'll have this by next year easily.
Yeah, and Microsoft doesn't have anything like that. So
yes,
if you buy a game.
Yes,
if you buy a game.
And no, you're right. If you buy a game, no. But if you actually what you wanted, if you play games and earn trophies, you can translate that towards £5 a month.
So I've played shitloads of games on Xbox, and
not the right ones.
I've still never gotten anything out of that.
I get £5 a month from them every month, Andy, because I've set it up to auto redeem my points. Because what you go in is you go in and you do your checklist. It's like log into the Xbox Game Pass app. Takes 2 seconds. Go and play a Game Pass game. Takes 2 seconds. Then it's like play 5 minutes of like fucking some random game. Just leave it on. It's £5 for free every month. You build it up. You buy a game every 4 months.
So I mean, I've played hundreds of games on Game Pass.
Not the right ones. Read what it tells you. That's having a daily mission in Fortnite saying, I've played hours.
I'm not playing some game that they're forcing me to play just to get
free money.
Like, for whatever it is.
Free money.
Yeah, but I'm not playing half an hour.
That's what they. So what Sony want you to do? Sony want you to play Random X game and spend money.
But if I'm going to be spending the money anyway, I'd rather just give me a little bit back, which is what they're doing. That's what Nintendo does. Works fine.
Nintendo does it in a better way, though. Every purchase gets you something back with Nintendo. This is like spend. So it's 1,250. So you have to spend £125, if I'm not right.
Well, yeah, but the points obviously will keep adding up, and I don't believe the points expire.
No, it's fair. Over time, you'll get it, but like you can do it with Xbox as well, just by playing stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how that develops over time. Like, I mean, it's there. It wasn't in the app day one because it's like, oh, go into the app and you'll get more information.
It wasn't there.
It wasn't there, and I'm like, right, okay, but it is there now. And like, yeah, I've made my trophy cabinet, which is a stupid dinosaur in it. Like, I don't really care that much. I like my trophy level. And I like...
You said you were so excited about them and you're going to get them all. You wanted to have them all. That's what you said. Because you were sure that your trophies were going to... You boasted about your trophy level compared to mine and how much further ahead you were going to be than me. Now you're not. Now you're behind.
Like, see if I could use my trophies and like they would allow
I'm ahead of you in PlayStation's newest
buy like their little NFT things or whatever they are. Like, yeah, I'd be cool with that. But like, it doesn't. So, shit. Yeah. I will like it if it rewards you. Like, say if you got the platinum in God of War Ragnarok, for example, and it gives you some special God of War thing, that would be cool. I'd like that.
Yeah, a bit like what Xbox used to do with their avatars. Like, you finished Earthworm Jim, you got Earthworm Jim suit. I finished Gears of War. I've got the chainsaw. Mass Effect, you get the thing. Final Fantasy, I got a chocobo, like those sort of stuff. They don't do that anymore, and I love that. And it was like tied to achievements. Like, I've got the Monkey Island T-shirt on my guy because I like the old one, because it's like I found the treasure of Melee Island and all I got was this stupid T-shirt. It's like, that's cool. And I've got the giant cotton bud that was used to unlock. Do you remember the monkey cave? It was a monkey cave, and you had to put the cotton bud in its ear for the key and turn it. Like, I've got a giant cotton bud out for my avatar.
So like those things like that, and it doesn't seem like this is
anything like that.
Nothing like that.
Spend money and have digital goods that you can't use in any game or anything anywhere else. You can just display them in a case.
In a case that no one
else can see.
No one will look at, apart from you. You might look at it now and again. But...
Me?
No, not you, but like
each person. Yeah. I'm not going to go and look at Andy's trophies and go, oh,
exactly.
Did I get that one?
No,
it's not a conversation.
Can you even look at like someone else?
You can't. Like, do you know what? Who cares? Because like PlayStation don't want you to friends anyway. Because you have to go through 3 menus to get to your friends list on PlayStation 5 anyway now.
So you signed up for it, right? So I should be able to look at your one. Let me see if I can find your one. Because if I can't look at your one, oh no, it is there. Yeah, I can look at your trophy cabinet, which is the same as mine.
I can see your level 1.
Yeah. So the people that
you look at my profile, you'll be able to see it.
I bet you that not many people have signed up for this, and that this will probably go away within a year.
Yeah.
Because
I'm going through people randomly on my. I'm going through people randomly and like Zono, Zono from the PlayStation. He doesn't even have a trophy displayed. He doesn't have a thing displayed. So.
Yeah. The Big Don from the PlayStation Show does. He's got the same as us. Apart from he's got another one. He's got 7. He's got 7 things.
But all that means is he spent money.
Well, yeah, probably.
It doesn't mean you're good at anything. That's the problem. Like you said, it just means you've spent money.
It doesn't tell you what they've unlocked them for either.
You don't unlock them for anything. It's like spend money or play games. Because if you go to campaigns and you go to PlayStation Store picks, grab your next favorite game. Like,
it's just buy a game, isn't it?
Buy games, and then toy fight. Okay, so pick a fight: Street Fighter 5, Marvel, Tekken 7.
Play a fighting game, okay, yeah.
And press the 2. So I don't play a fighting game. So yeah, I could play one of them, I suppose. So, yeah, there is some stuff. 1994 Sony Cord Machine. Yeah, I'm not playing any of those games. Yeah, I think it's terrible. I really do. But anyway, moving on from that, the final thing I wanted to talk about, you might have some more, but this will lead into the game that you've been playing. Dun, dun, dun. So the second biggest or even bigger scandal on Twitter over the last few days was Bayonetta 3 had some issues. The original voice actress was replaced with Jennifer Hale, as we all know, and the original voice actress came out and made a tweet saying that she was only offered $4,000. That was it. for the third game in a successful franchise that she's been with since the start. Another voice actress came out, I don't know who this was, I'm not going to name her either, said that £4,000 is the usual fee for a 30-second commercial. For a project the size of Bayonetta, you're looking at, with scale, $20,000 plus.
Yeah,
minimum.
Yep.
That's what I would have thought, standard yearly wage for doing that, because it's going to be months of voice work coming back in for stuff, trailers, like all this sort of stuff. Fine. £4,000, and then they get Jennifer Hale in, who's a fantastic voice actress, no harm against her, but I guarantee she's not doing it for £4,000. Guarantee you.
And that is why this makes sense. I was watching I watched a few videos about this actually, like over the last couple of days, and I think there's a guy, YouTuber, his name is Moist Critical. He hit the nail on the head with it for me out of the ones that I watched, and basically he said that clearly what's happened here is they've decided that they want to change the voice actor, but they also they don't want to fire this woman. They want her to leave on her own terms. So they've made her the offer. They've made her an offer. This is what you get. This is the base rate, and this is probably the lowest amount that they could offer. And she's went, and it's for $4,000, and she's went, I'm not doing it for that. Like, I probably want 20 grand. You're probably right. And they've went, no, we can't pay you that. Like, this is the offer. And she's went, well, I'm not doing it then. And they're like, okay, that's fine. And then they go, right, we'll get our actual person that we want to get then.
I don't think so. I think your theory was better than that, where she's come in and asked for the 20 grand and they've went, we're not paying you that. And she's walked away. And they've went, if she wanted, how much is Jennifer Hale? And maybe it wasn't 20 grand. I guarantee that's what's happened as well. It's a combination probably of both.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're probably right. They couldn't fire her. But what they've done is they've made her the lowest possible offer that's legally allowed for that sort of work.
Yep.
And she's went no, and she's walked away on her own accord and been pissed off with it. However, it gets worse because the guy said something like, beware my rules. You know, the guy on Twitter is the developer. Yeah, and he's bad anyway. Because he's if you tweet at me in any language apart from Japanese, I'll block you. If you say something I don't like, I'll block you. If you say something I disagree with, I'll block you. It's all on his head. He blocked that many people that he get temporarily banned from Twitter because they were all giving him pelters, because he was like, there's the untruths that are coming out of people's mouths, beware of my rules, like in big capitals. And it's like, that sounds ominous, like a supervillain saying beware of my rules.
Yeah. To be fair to the devs though, like she Hale did come out. Hale? Is that her name? The
Jennifer Hale.
No, the woman that voiced it previously.
I don't know her name. I can't remember. Jennifer Hale did make a statement saying she couldn't comment on it because she's under NDA.
Yeah, and we need to look up the woman's name, but she came out and she said even in the videos, like, I'm breaking an NDA to speak about this. So like,
because you're not obviously allowed to discuss your pay, but she never got hired. So what NDA is she breaking if she's not?
She would have signed, because she had to audition for the role. She would have signed an NDA when she auditioned for the role that she wouldn't be allowed to speak about the game.
So they could now sue her.
They could. They won't. They could.
But it's not a good look for Nintendo. I know this is Platinum Games, not Nintendo, but everyone was giving Nintendo pelters for this, saying that shocking. And see, here's my problem with it is, right? I get she's frustrated, but she asked for the fans to boycott it. Now, she might get a handful that does, but see, me not buying the game isn't going to get her job back, isn't going to cancel the game, isn't going to get them to redo the voice lines with her. Bayonetta 3 is coming out with Jennifer Hale as the voice of Bayonetta. That's it. That's the game we're getting. I like the series. I'm sorry that's happened to you in the workplace, but stuff's happened to me in the workplace that I didn't like, and I didn't tell you not to come and shop there.
And the other thing that is, there are hundreds of, if not thousands of people worked on that game, not just one person. And you don't want us to support all those
programmers,
people that still did
developers,
good work, and even
story writers, the people that wrote your voice lines.
Yeah. And yeah, okay, you're pissed off at the company, Nintendo, whatever. But if you wanted to take this moral stance, and I was watching the Jim Position episode about this, and they were talking about this, and basically they were like, well, if you boycotted this game because of this one specific reason, then you'd basically have to boycott every single video game with any voice acting or whatsoever.
Because voice actors have not had good pay for years.
No, they haven't. They've had terrible pay. Like the named ones get paid better, definitely. Like Halo get paid better. Nolan North, people like that. Those people get paid well, but like the base level people, like they're getting paid buttons like this. And
there's a big scandal with Crunchyroll and Sony just now as well, because the voice actors there were getting offered like $300. Like it turned out they were getting paid for like one of the, I can't remember. I don't know if it's One Punch Man or something. I don't know if it was him.
Yeah, okay.
But don't quote me in that, because I don't know if that's the right anime. I'm not an anime guy, but it was an anime like that. And the folk on Twitter that I was reading had found out that he'd only been paid like £300 or £300 an episode, or 3,000 for the whole series and stuff. And they're like, what? He's one of the biggest characters and you've brought him to life. And they're like, that's what we get paid. So that person is right. If you're boycotting Bayonetta 3, boycott anything, like boycott all CGI. The only person that gets paid fairly voice acting, I guarantee, is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for DC's Super Pets.
Probably, yeah. I'll be very interested to hear Matt Bradford's take on this, because he is a voice actor. I'll be very interested to hear his take on it. I'm sure he'll talk about it on VGO.
Possibly tonight.
Probably tonight's episode, yeah. So I will keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, so that's Bayonetta. But anyway, that will lead us lovely into the game Andy's been playing this week, Bayonetta. So I need to go and feed these cats before they eat my feet. So
eat your feet, Jesus. Yeah, I did play through Bayonetta 1 in its entirety over like 2 or 3 days. I was on holiday from work last week, and I wanted to play a few different things after finishing, because obviously I finished Resident Evil HD last week, and I wanted to play something a bit more actiony and fast-paced, and I picked up Bayonetta because I've only ever played the PS3 version and only played a little bit of it before, and obviously with the new one coming out, I was like, I'll pick up Bayonetta 1 to see if I like it, see if I might be interested in getting 3 when it comes out, because like I've watched the trailers. 3 looks all right. But yeah, so played through Bayonetta 1, and immediately I was in unknown territory, because I quickly discovered that I thought I'd played a few hours of this game, but I'd played like the intro. Like I don't even think I'd seen the title card, because I quickly discovered the game was very different from what I thought it was going to be completely. Because from that opening thing, you're like, oh, this is like Devil May Cry. And there is definitely elements of that. However, there are vast sections of the game that are completely different from that. There's like fucking car chases in this. There's like shooting sections in between every level that are like mini games. There's also some weird platforming and stuff in it. You're sticking to walls, and it's almost like Gravity Rush at points where you're having to change your perspective and things. And it's just a really cool, really fucking weird game. Because you've got this whole like angels and demons thing, where there's all this churchy type, very holier than thou type stuff going on, and then that's also juxtaposed with like the real in your face like sex. Like just sex is just in your face the entire time. Just like the characters' proportions, not just Bayonetta, but like all of the characters in the game, they're all that kind of way. And it's just a really weird sort of juxtaposition between this like all this god stuff and then all this sexy stuff, and it's a very strange combination. But it's really funny, and it's a fun game. And I played through on like not the lowest difficulty, but like whatever the second one was, which is like easy or whatever. And I think this is the best way to play this game, because Bayonetta in the cutscenes is like a complete badass. She's like a total superhero. She's supposed to be able to kill things in one hit and just like absolutely wreck these things that are coming at her. And that's how the game plays exactly when you're playing it on that mode. I think if you play it on like normal or the higher difficulty levels, I think it would take a lot more damage to take out these enemies. And I think it wouldn't be as fun. Like I had a blast playing through this game. And like I say, I played through it in like 2 days and really, really enjoyed it, because it was just big, dumb fun and just like a really fucked up and really crazy and weird story. I don't even think I could explain it to you, and I'm not going to try, but it was very strange and very weird. But I had a lot of fun with it. And it looks cool. Like this was the Xbox One version that I was playing on Series X, so I believe it's like up-resed a wee bit for the One X or whatever. But yeah, and I think it cost me like £6 or something in a sale. Well worth that to play through. Well worth that. Had a great time with it. reminded me a little bit of like, do you remember Nier, the game Nier Automata, or the original Nier, and they had kind of different gameplay styles at different points in that game? That's what this game reminded me of, and like it actually surprised me because games don't do this so much anymore. Like where they have these like different gameplay elements. Usually it's like, here's the game, you're a third-person action game, and you're going to fight. So you're going to fight and you're going to jump around, but everything's going to be done in this one third-person perspective. But in this game, there's like all kinds of weird mini games and stuff going on. But I really like the there's like kind of special moves that you unlock. I think they call them climaxes in this, which is again like in the sexual side of things. But she unleashes these cool like special moves, and you've got like torture moves and stuff where she's kicking people into these like spike chambers and stuff. And they all look, and grinders and things, and there's big saws coming down, chopping things in half. It looks fucking cool. QTEs, loads of QTEs in this game, which you don't see anymore. I don't find like there's a few. Sometimes you'll get like button bashing ones, but you don't get these timed ones where like you must hit this button right now or you're dead. You don't get that anymore in games, and I can see why, because that was the only frustrating part of this game. I think it's the only times when I died was from these QTEs where I didn't quite press the button at the right time, and it's like, nope, you're dead, you fell, or you missed the jump, or like the thing slashed you in half or whatever. But no, I really enjoyed the game. Like you've played Bayonetta before, haven't you?
I got it when it first came out on the 360. I had it on the PS3, but then I get told, no, don't play the PS3 version. Really bad. Got it at 360, never finished it. Got it on the Wii U with Bayonetta 2, never finished it. Got it on the Switch, about halfway through. It's good, right? But you're going to love Bayonetta 2. It's like, Bayonetta 2 is one of my favorite games. Like, it's so good. Bayonetta 1 is kind of like your Resident Evil HD compared to Resident Evil 2 almost. It doesn't look bad by any means, but I just think everything about Bayonetta 2 was refined, which is what's so exciting about Bayonetta 3 is they're taking it to another level, and it's the first one that's Switch only, because obviously Bayonetta 2 was another Wii U port, even though not many folk remember it came out in the Wii U. But Bayonetta 2 was phenomenal. I think I finished that on the... Or did I finish it on the Switch?
You finished it on the Wii U. Yeah, no, you definitely finished it on Wii U. Because I remember that year it was either your favorite game of the year or it was like right up there.
Yeah, it was amazing. But I finished it again on Switch, but I bought it physical because Bayonetta 1 wasn't out in Switch. It came with pre-orders as a code.
Yep.
And you've been able to buy it digital since then. So I've got Bayonetta 1 digital, but I don't have Bayonetta 2 digital because I traded Bayonetta 2 once I completed it. Because I thought I'm not going to play this again, really. But now I want to play Bayonetta 2 again. But it's too close to Bayonetta 3 for that. So I'm probably going to get Bayonetta 3. It's out in 10 days' time. 28th, I think it's out.
I'm
Depending
not
on how quick I get through Gotham. If we're still in Gotham and it's long, it's not that it's longer. Like me and you, if it's a 30-hour game, there's going to come nights where like I can't play it or you can't play it or whatever, and it's like it's going to take us longer than it would if it was a single player.
Definitely, yeah.
Because I want to play this whole thing through together. This is one that I will just wait for.
This is the one where Ali's going to run out of patience with me, and he's like, "I want to play." And I'll be like,
"Well, we need to get it finished before the end of November for you because December's a write-off at your work for anything work-wise."
Yeah.
So, talking off, Tasha's going to have to work Christmas Day at her new job, but I said it's not a problem because she's often the day after, and I says, but Lexi's not going to know what day it is unless we tell her. So what I'm going to tell her is Christmas Day is Christmas Eve, and Boxing Day is going to be Christmas Day.
Oh, that's fucking sneaky. Okay, right.
She's only 4. She's not.
Let's take that off here. She's not. She's going to know.
She's not going to know because no one's going to tell her because she's going to be off school for the week.
Oh my god, this is a risky move.
It's not a risky move. What's she going to do? Santa's not coming to you tomorrow. Deal with it, young one.
But I did finish Bayonetta 1, and in regards to me, it was basically so that I would decide if I wanted to buy Bayonetta 3 day one or not. Now, obviously, I want to play Bayonetta 2 first.
Yeah, I would say because the story does continue on, and the story of Bayonetta 2 is far. Yeah. I can tell you what the story of Bayonetta 1 is because I know I was having a go at it during the week.
It's absolutely insane, man.
It's not as good as 2. 2 is really cool. There's some other characters added in. You learn more about Bayonetta's past. Not so much. She's still a mystery. That's the thing about Bayonetta is Devil May Cry kind of lays it out. Here is Dante. Dante is the son of the devil. Dante's brother is Virgil. Dante is fighting them because of this. Like, it clearly lays it out for you. Whereas Bayonetta, it's like she's a witch, but it's not really told you. How did she get to that point?
She's a witch. She's a left eye. She's like, she has to protect herself, like, from the past somehow. It's sort of like a past version of her that's you're carrying around with you for half a game. Like, it's very strange and very confusing. I don't understand it, but it was fucking fun, so I don't care. So yeah, the Bayonetta 2, I'm definitely going to pick that up and play it. Within the next,
you can get it for about £20 now, can't you? £20-25.
I'm not sure, but like I'll definitely pick it up in the next few weeks. Bayonetta 3, I will pick it up, but not day one.
It'll probably work because if you can get it through your work anyway.
Probably, yeah. But I want to play through 2 first. So I'll do that first, and then come back to 3, and probably in November at some point. But Bayonetta 3 looks good. I watched a couple of trailers of it. It looks fun. The fact of it being a different voice actress, it doesn't bother me that much. Obviously, it sucks that they only offered her $4,000 for that. Like, I would have thought $20,000 it would be, but is what it is.
So you can get Bayonetta 2 at a reliable second-hand retailer here in the United Kingdom for £10 on the Wii U or $38 for the Switch.
Obviously, it's probably gone up in price from what it would have been because they thought.
Yeah, they run up to Bayonetta 3. Most places do that when you trade in. Like, I would be very surprised if like the Arkham games haven't took a slight increase as well.
Probably the current gen ones, yeah. Like,
Arkham
last gen ones, yeah.
Arkham Return to Arkham collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm sure I'd seen Bayonetta at about 25 a few months back.
Yeah, I finished 2 other games as well.
Well, can I talk about mine before you go into them? Because I need to go to do something. Fix something just now. So I finished the game as well, Andy. The review's up for it. Obviously, I talked about God of War. I'd finished finally last week. Well, the week before, sorry. I finished No More Heroes 3 as well. I don't know, did I talk about that? I talked about it, but I don't know if I'd finished it.
I don't think your review was up yet last time we did the show.
So my review's up. No More Heroes 3 is fantastic. Really good game. The funny thing is, I'm not one that doesn't like that likes going in and just playing number 3. I've played 1. I've never touched No More Heroes 2. I owned them on the Wii. Loved them. I bought them again when they got re-released for the Switch. I was like, this is great. And I never sunk time into it. But see, No More Heroes 3, it was like I wanted to get it out for embargo to get more eyes on it. Because, you get it out release day or embargo day, you're getting more views. So I was like, right, I'll get it done. 2 nights it took me. I absolutely beasted it. This is another one of those games that I would have probably enjoyed more if I wasn't reviewing because I would have been able to extend it. I thought it was a 4.5 out of 5. I think it was a 4 out of 5. Reviews up on Xbox Hub. Go check it out. Really good game. But I think, even though I'm saying that I would have enjoyed it, No More Heroes 3, if I'd bought it, it would have probably just sat in my library like all these other games that I like. But I'm never getting back to. Fantastic game though, really, really fun. Had some really cool moments. I think it's too soon to spoil the kind of end, but I want to talk about what happened at the end in a few weeks' time once more folk have got their eyes on it and played it, because it was very clever what Suda did, because Suda51 makes this, obviously, who made games like Killer 7 and such like that. He did a very clever thing at the end of this game that a lot of people wanted to see for today. Not Spirits Within, that was Final Fantasy. Spirits
what? Ghostbusters.
I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's not Spirits Within, because that's Final Fantasy. Is
it Spirits Within?
No, that's Final Fantasy.
I did see Greg Miller was playing it earlier.
Greg Miller's in the game.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be allowed to cover it. Because his name came up in the credits. Because I knew Rahul was in it, because he's been going on. He's the Tobin, voice of the book, and his name's in the credits. But see, the last name in the credits was Greg Miller. I'm like, who's Greg Miller playing?
Spirits Unleashed. It is
Unleashed. Yeah, right. So this is by the same guys that made, I think, the Predator game and the Alien game recently. I don't know if it's those guys, but they get licenses and they've been okay games from what I've seen. This game's good, really good. Basically, you play as a Ghostbuster. First person perspective, which is a bit weird because obviously it's usually third. So you're first person and you are with 4 other Ghostbusters, so you can customize it. And here's what I did, Andy. So they've got the Peter Vick, the real Ghostbusters. you can customize your suit so it looks like the movie, but they've also got the cartoon. So I've got the brown. Nice. And I've got the black boots, so I look like the cartoon, but I've got my shaved head and my beard, so you can customize it so it's technically me. You can upgrade like your PK meter, your proton pack, your proton gun, and your traps. You get the firehouse to play about in. There's not too much to do there. And next door, you've got. Have you seen Ghostbusters, the new one with Paul Rudd?
No, Afterlife. No, I've not seen it yet.
So this picks up at the end of that movie.
Okay.
So I don't really want to spoil too much.
Yeah.
So, but basically in the movie, sorry, spoilers, the film's 2 years old now. Like Ray's got an occult bookstore. That's not much of a spoiler. And I don't think it was next door to the firehouse in the movie, but it is in this.
Well, so yeah, just for convenience.
I don't want to tell you too much about that because that the film was quite good. You should watch it.
I will watch it. Yeah, I've not.
So I don't want. This does follow the story on from the end scenes of that movie. So you're working for the new Ghostbusters. Well, you're starting a new Ghostbusters team or whatever. But Ray's got his occult store next door, and once you get to level 4, the cool thing is, so you're going in, you're busting ghosts. You can use your PK meter. You have to find haunted objects. You try and get rid of the portal so the ghosts can't escape, and you have to calm down people because there's civilians running about going and you have to go up to them, and it's a quick time thing. We have to calm them down because if so many of them run out, you lose. You have to keep people calm, and there's a haunting level, and once the building gets 100% haunted, you've lost. So you can throw out your trap, and it's the usual. You're like using your gun. The first person controls work really well. It's all smooth. It's got a kind of cartoonesque look to it. So you can pull the ghosts down and stuff and try and get them into the traps, and you have to hunt them down, but they can possess like chairs and different things and hunt them. But the cool thing is you can play as ghosts. So I pre-ordered and you get Slimer unlocked. So I'm Slimer. I'm playing as Slimer, and you go in and people have to hunt you. So you can use your portals to go through walls. You have to like scare the civilians. You have to try and haunt the building. You've got special moves like where you release minions. So it's like little ghosts that kind of distract the Ghostbusters. You can go and fuck about with their proton packs and turn them off and stuff. You can possess objects, and it's like Gary's mod almost. So you're walking about as like a wet floor sign and stuff. You can take the portals and hide them. You can walk through different rooms and haunt objects. So you can watch them like spook people, because if you haunt an object that's kind of possessed, that's so much fucking fun to me. And there's a story in it. It's got actual campaign mode. So as you're playing through, you're getting bits of the story of what's happening with the Ghostbusters, of what Ray's doing. Obviously, Rahul's voiced Tobin's spirit guide, because you have to basically, once you get to level 5, Ray gives you that to read, and you can go in Tobin's guide and become the ghost. And he's the spirit guide's talking to you and stuff. But you can customize it. There's different levels of ghosts. I don't think you can go like Marshmallow Man, which is annoying, but I don't know how that would really work. Because obviously it's more flying ghosts. So you basically have to stay out the road of the Ghostbusters. And I'm like, I didn't think it would be fun to play as that. I thought the fun would be the Ghostbusters. But no, but then I suppose it's the same with the Predator game. You would want to be the Predator. You don't really want to be the people hunting. Whereas the difference is, I don't care. See, if I get into a room and it's like, oh, you're the ghost, I'm not going to be disappointed. And if I'm a Ghostbuster, I'm not going to be disappointed. So I think with this, when this company's found their right balance, I think they've found their center, and this is a perfect game for them. Really cool. Loads of unlockables. They've said there's no going to be any like pay to win elements. There's nothing like that anyway. Everything's unlockable in game from what I can see. There's no like cosmetic packs and shit to buy and add on and stuff. The only thing was pre-order to play Slimer right away. So even that I think's unlockable in game. It's at a reasonable price for what it is, £34. I've spent more than a pizza on a Saturday night. I actually have. Domino's is dear, man. So like, I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it. I think it could be a lot of fun. It's got solo mode as well, so I don't need to worry about anybody picking it up at the moment. I'm glad I got it in PlayStation because it's got the haptics, and that really adds to the gameplay. You know, when you're like pulling the trigger, it really feels like you're having to, because it says when you pull the trigger, you'll feel a kick. It really does feel like you're having to click in the trigger and stuff. Really cool, man. Really all feels nice and smooth. I don't know how many levels there's going to be, because when you go in and you say like start a mission, it only displays 5 or 6 to start with. And I don't know how varied they're going to be, or if they're just relying on the multiplayer element. I need to play it more. I only got like maybe a half hour to an hour. I only got to level 5 just before the show. Like, the reason I said 2 ticks was because I just fucking got to be Slimer and I was flying about as him having fun. I nearly delayed the show to 10 o'clock because of that. And I'm like, it fucking looks like Slimer as well, man, from like actual Slimer. Like,
yeah. I like I'm watching some gameplay of it just now from Kind of Funny stream from earlier today, and I like the look of the ghost, and it definitely looks like a 3D version of The Haunting, starring Polter Guy from the Mega Drive.
Yeah, because you can, like I said, when you're doing the tutorial for the ghost, it tells you to haunt things in different rooms, because then that basically the Ghostbusters come in with a PK reader, and if you've haunted objects, that'll show off as a reading, because their goal is to try and find you, and you've got to try and outlast them basically by scaring people and fucking up stuff. So if you can haunt things, and then if they can close your portals, you basically get 3 portals, and if they close them all, you can't revive. As long as you've got portals, you can still revive. So if you put them in walls, they can easily find them. So you have to hide them in objects. So it's harder for them to find.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's so much fun. Like, I love the Ghostbusters, and like, this game's brilliant so far. Again, I can't comment on the longevity. I don't know if they're basing this on multiplayer fun only, because I don't know how many. If this is all the missions that's there, then it's going to be like a short campaign, like really short.
The multiplayer does look really fun, to be fair.
Yeah, I was surprised when it said first person. I was like, oh, I wish I'd read into this more than just pushing by because it said Ghostbusters. But so I used to buy games when I was younger, and sometimes it pays off. But the first person actually really works for it. And it's just because I think we've been used to third person Ghostbusters or 2D ones platforming. The first person really works for it, man. Like, it would be a cool game in VR, to be honest with you. If they made this compatible with VR with a gun, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
You've got like a grapple gun as well, for some reason. So you can like get up to the top balconies quicker. But I've just been playing with bots offline. It's really make a difference because they all kind of do their own thing. Sometimes you can shout. It would be help. I think it would work a lot better playing with someone, because then you can communicate, because I can't tell a bot, come over here and help me with this. There's no real way of doing that, like, to a bot. Whereas if I was playing with someone else, I could say over the microphone, hey, I'm stuck here, or I've got the ghost trapped, because the ghost will try and run away from you, and it'll try and break your stream, and it will try and possess an object, and you see the fucking Hoover running away and stuff like that. And then you've got to try and avoid property damage and stuff while you're calming folk down and still looking for the ghost. And if he drops his minions, you have to kind of kill them off first. And then if you've got your trap open for too long, the batteries will run low in that. So there's a lot of management going on as well as playing it. It's a fun fucking game, man. Like, it could be one of the games this year if, like, the campaign's meaty enough and the online seems to be functioning okay.
It just the reason that I won't buy it right now is because it just screams Game Pass to me.
You think this will come to Game Pass?
Screams Game Pass. Like 100%. Like the Alien game came to Game Pass and all that, like day one and everything. Like, it looks much better than the Alien game, to be fair, but like, it just screams Game Pass so much. I'm like, I wish it was on Game Pass. I'd love to just try this to see if I enjoyed it.
But I mean, and on the flip side, like, for $34.99,
it's not a bad price. Yeah, to be fair.
It's not
70 quid, so.
For a solid playing game, like, if this came out at 50, 60, I would say it would be a harder sell. If this came out at $34.99, I'm like, it's the price it should have been. So, I've got to also talk about, because my review's up now, Last Hero of Nostalgia. Embargo is today. I think it's out tomorrow, or just now. $19.99 this game's priced at, by the way.
Good price.
Absolutely brilliant, by the way. Absolutely phenomenal game. Read my review if you want to see all about it. But if you like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, all of these games, but you want it to be a bit... To me, it was a better setting. To me, it was funny. They added, like Stanley Parable style humor added into Dark Souls. It's bloody brilliant, man. The guys there are geniuses. Like, I really enjoyed the game. So my review's up on Xbox Hub for that too. But I can recommend Last Hero Nostalgia to everyone. But I think that's all I played. Because obviously, NHL, I covered that for review as well. I haven't really been playing that much. I played some card games because I was writing some car articles for Game Rant. They're not out yet. First one's up in a couple of days, but I was playing some old arcade racing games on the Xbox, because PlayStation doesn't have really backwards compatibility unless you pay them money every year. So,
hello, I do.
You didn't mean to though, but like, no, there's a few good games that I'd forgot about. I've got a few articles to write. I was playing Marvel Snap today. That game seems pretty fun, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I've got a few guides to write on it, a couple of them anyway. So I'm enjoying what I've had with it. It's free to play. Marvel Snap's on iOS, and if you're watching this, you can play it because it's either on Steam for free, iOS for free, or Android for free. Great game. Absolutely.
I downloaded that as well. Like I'll try it for next week.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be game of the year, but it's one I'm going to keep on my phone now because I've been having fun with it. And it's more complex than I thought. So I'm going to have to. I didn't get too much time though because that was the thing. Both these games were out today, right? And I've got to cover them because I need to start my Gotham Knights coverage on Friday for my guides. So like Marvel Snap didn't drop till like 2:30 in the afternoon, and then Ghostbusters weirdly didn't unlock till 4:00 because it was like a worldwide release. I'm like, this is annoying. This is really annoying.
I do like that better though, where it's worldwide and everyone gets it at the same time. I prefer that to like, it launches at like 2 p.m.
midnight.
in the UK, but like midnight in wherever else.
No, what it should be is if it's out on the 19th, it should be out at midnight. See if it comes to Thursday midnight and Gotham Knights is not unlocked for me and it's telling me to wait to the afternoon, I'm probably going to smash something. Because I want to get a shot of it first. And to be honest, when you fire up that game, you're going to have to go through a tutorial of some sort before you can do co-op anyway. Every one of these games.
Probably, yeah. There'll be like an
opening mission at least where it'll force you to play. Here's what the game will do when it opens. You'll have to play as all 4 characters by yourself. And then when you get to the tower, it will say co-op's now available. I bet you that's what it is. So I'm going to have to at least play that. Well, you're not going to be able to start the game and then just say join up. It's not going to work that way because they want you to play as all 4 characters at some point. So it's going to make you in a mission. It's going to be a mission with all 4 of them after Batman's death, and you're going to start as Robin. Then it's going to go into Nightwing, and then it's going to automatically change, and then it's going to unlock the bell tower so that you can change to whatever one you want for the next mission. That's what. So I'm at least going to play that on Thursday night because I can't not. And then I'm just going to have to sit waiting on you all day going, have you got it yet? Are you home yet? Have you got it yet? Are you home yet? Have you got it yet? Are you home yet? And then my kids are going to be in bed by like 4:30 in the afternoon. Like, I put the kids to bed, Andy. They've not even dinner. Because Elden Ring was meant to be this game for me and it screwed me over.
Yeah, it was not. So, yeah, hopefully this will be the one.
You can play Last Hero of Nostalgia, Nostalgia, sorry. It's difficult because it's Nostalgia, yeah. It's stupid. But you can play it co-op as well.
Nice. I might get that one, but I don't know if I'll get it. Like, when's it out? Tomorrow? I won't get it tomorrow.
I think it's out tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Monday. Or what day is today? Either tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, it's probably Friday because mostly they bring out games on Tuesdays or on Fridays. Mostly. Fridays, yeah. Digital games, though, can be a bit different.
See, that's my problem. Sometimes ruin stuff. And it's not breaking embargo. Like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, you should get this game. And they're like, can't even see it in the store. I'm like, oh yeah.
It's like that, yeah. But yeah, it looks cool. I've definitely checked that out. But yeah, I did finish 2 other games this week as well.
Nice.
So I finished Stray on PS5, the cat game.
That's the perfect time for me to go and do my stuff.
Yeah, go and deal with your cat. So yeah, it's a game where you play as a cat, except the cat doesn't talk, and it's also got a robot on it, and there's no other people or like living things in the world. It's just a cat. He falls into a robot city, and then his goal is to escape the robot city. It's quite a short game. It was okay in parts. Like some of the platform bits are all right, but it's quite clunky, and I had some frame rate issues in the game, like I was mentioning earlier, which you shouldn't have in a game like this because it's not that complicated. It's from a smaller sort of dev team, but yeah, it was okay. Some parts of the game were kind of fun, and the rest of it was just like, I want to get through this just to say I've finished it and just to add another game to the finished games list, to be honest. But yeah, I did finish it. It was over, and I don't need to play it again, so it's done. And then I did play on the recommendation of Generation Pixel, who's another YouTube channel. It mostly does retro stuff, but it does cover some modern games as well. On his recommendation, I did play Deliver Us the Moon, which was an excellent game. So the recommendation was that this was a perfect kind of palate cleanser type game. Nice short puzzle game that's fun and really cool. So I was like, yeah, that sounds like the perfect palate cleanser between playing Resident Evil HD and then playing Resident Evil 2 Remake. And absolutely agree with that 100%. This game was really cool. Really enjoyed it. I've played a couple of these kind of like space puzzle games before. Like played Observer before, which was quite good. I enjoyed that one, where you're in a space station and having to piece together what's going on and do various puzzles and whatnot. And what was the other one? Adrift I played, which I did not like at all. Hated the controls in that game. And this game kind of has a similar sort of vibe where you're in a space station, first person, and you're having to repair bits and pieces. And at first, it's kind of confusing of how to control it, but you're used to that within about 5 minutes. So once you get the hang of the control, it's brilliant. Loved the game. Right up until I think the very, very, very last puzzle. Apart from that, the game's fantastic, and they should have patched this puzzle so that it was much easier to complete. But apart from that, I love this game. Like I love this kind of whole like this vibe of space type games where you're playing first person in like low gravity settings, jumping around and having to solve puzzles. Absolutely love this type of game. And
you're gonna love Dead Space then, mate.
No, fuck Dead Space. That's scary. There's aliens and stuff like that. These are just normal space games where you're just an astronaut, like, and you're just
an astronaut.
No, there's fucking things with like scary arms and stuff. No. So not.
You're playing Resident Evil. Resident Evil's not as scary as Dead Space.
Resident Evil's terrifying.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Deliver the Moon really good as like a palate cleanser type game between playing like kind of big action games and stuff. Really, really enjoyed that game. And it's quite short as well, maybe like 5 hours. Really fun and it looks awesome. Played it on PS5. And there is a PS5 version as well. It looks really nice. And then I have so that's all the games I finished, but I did start playing Resident Evil 2 Remake as well. And it took me ages to work out like which character to play as. This is one of the frustrating things with these games is like it gives you the choice. It tells you nothing about like what the difference is.
So this is the only game that really does this, right? The first one you did have the choice, but it didn't make too much of a difference, right? This one originally was 2 different stories.
Mm.
The third one, you've just got one character. The fourth one, you've just got one character. The fifth one, it just gives you the character you're playing as. It's just Chris, right? And then the sixth one, it's got 4 characters, but each is broken into its own almost game. Like Chris plays more like Resident Evil 5, and then Leon plays more like Resident Evil 2, you know, so it's all different gameplay styles. But 2 was always messed up because it came into this. It wasn't because the game was too big, it's because it's 2 different stories. And in the original game, and I haven't looked into it too much, but I'm assuming you're going to tell us about it. In the original, if you picked up items and you picked up too many, then your playthrough with Claire, you're not going to be able to find as much ammo and stuff because Leon's took them all and he's already left. So
in this game, it seems like the differences are not quite as much as that. In the remake, it seems more like it does say to complete the game fully that you need to play through as both the characters, but I don't believe from what I've read online that if you pick up an item it disappears forever for the next person. I fucking hope it doesn't, because if it does, there's absolutely no chance that I will be able to complete the game as Claire.
So
at all, because I've picked up every single item that I can find.
If I finish this game as Leon, I'm considering it done. I ain't doing Claire as well, but you've never played the story.
No. So this is my quandary is like, which one do I play as first? Because
Leon, always Leon.
In the first game in Resident Evil, I played as Jill because Jill's was easier because you had a lockpick and stuff. That didn't make that much difference, I don't think, because I played on easy anyway. But I think I picked like 2 locks in the whole game, maybe 3. So I don't think it really made that much difference. She does have extra inventory. She has extra inventory slots.
That makes it a lot easier.
Which does make it easier because it saves a tiny bit of backtracking, even though there's a massive amount of backtracking. But anyway, in this game, it looks really nice. I thought it would actually look nicer for a PS5 game, but I get it. It's upscaled PS4, fine. It's really fun though, and it's very atmospheric. It's fucking terrifying.
It's not scary.
Absolutely terrifying. It is. I've shat myself at least 3 times already from things jumping through doors. It's like, fuck it. Right at the beginning, there's a guy where you go into a dark corridor and then you get round and there's a metal sort of grate and there's a guy banging on it. He's like, oh, can you let me in? And you pull it up and the guy starts to crawl underneath and you're like, okay, well, I'll save him. And you pull him and like the zombies start like eating his legs and then he just rips in half. And you're like, all right, okay, that's that. And then you turn around from that and then a zombie just fucking busts through the door. And I was like, oh my God, absolutely shat myself.
Yeah, they can come through doors. Have you met Mr. X yet? Because you're not going to finish this game.
No, I haven't not met him yet.
That, right, even me, right, I do get scared from things, but I'm not scared of Resident Evil. But like, Mr. X can terrify you because when you're not expecting him and the door just gets booted out, like you're walking towards the door, it just goes poof, and he just ducks under it. You're like, fuck, because you can't kill him. You can't kill him, and he follows you for like 60% of the game. It's actually really annoying. I think it's worse in this one because I'm at the point, I've met Mr. X in my playthrough, but I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't really have the notion because there's rooms where you just have to sprint through. And it's like, right, I need to go here in the map, I need to go here. But then see when you're in the room and panic sets in because he's lumbering after you, you're like, oh, fuck, this is the wrong room. And then you're like, right, I need to go back out and try. So I will go back and finish Resident Evil 2, but in 10 days' time, you've got the Resident Evil 8 third-person patch. And that for me is more pressing to finish than Resident Evil 2 because I've beaten Resident Evil 2 before. So even though this is a remake and it counts as a new game from my list, it's the story's mostly the same, even though the gameplay is completely different. The police station looks different and some of the puzzles are different. It was the same for Resident Evil 1. It was like, I've never beaten Resident Evil 1 in HD because I'm like, I know where this is going. Like, I know there's a tyrant at the end. I know there's a helicopter. Like the bit that you were talking about at the end, I'm like, I played this on the PlayStation and the DS version. Like, I know what happens. Resident Evil 3 was different because they changed that a lot. Like, a lot. But I wouldn't say anything for spoilers. But there's a certain person that survives, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they died canon. Like, and it wasn't a decision you could change. But I'll talk more about that. I haven't looked it up yet to know. But 3 was good. I'm interested to see how much they changed 4. Like, because these games are completely remade from the ground up. These aren't just remaster polishes. Like, I know Resident Evil HD is a remaster of the Resident Evil, but when it was out, it was a redo of the original game. However, Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 3 completely threw everything that did out the window and just made a game that can play these days properly and like has modern features like some autosaves and things like that come in more than handy. But anyway, sorry, I'll let you talk about them.
I've died a couple of times already. Actually, in the opening mission, so you go into the gas station at the very beginning of the game. There's one zombie. I think there's one zombie at the beginning, and I used all my bullets on it, and I didn't kill it, and it killed me. I couldn't beat it. It's actually because I couldn't work out where to go after I got the key, because I didn't notice there was like a wee bit that you could kind of duck behind and go in a door. But once I worked that out, after I died, I think twice, then it was fine. But I find the zombies in this are absolute bullet sponges compared to in Resi 1. Now, I'm playing this on normal difficulty. So I played through on easy so I could get through Resident Evil HD 1 HD quicker, but it still took me forever. That's what I just treat it as a normal game, like play it on normal difficulty. And oh my fucking god, there's like 6 headshots to take down a zombie. That's not right. It's not right.
It's not right.
Yeah, it's not right. It shouldn't be 6 headshots. It should be 1 headshot, and the zombie should go down.
It is.
That has not happened a single time.
I know.
You can say that I'm not hitting the zombie at the right point or whatever.
You're not.
I'm fucking shooting him in the face, like in the head. He should be dead in 1 shot. I'm shooting him in the head. 1 shot. He should be dead. A normal zombie, yes, he should be dead in 1 shot, a headshot. Different for the kind of brute guys. Like those guys, what is this? The brute guys, fair enough, they can take a couple more. He's not dead. He's still going.
I was just putting this on while you talk.
So that was 2 headshots. That's 1. Okay.
Yeah, but he's not waiting for the reticle to focus. He's missing. There you go.
So two shots.
There, you should fire when it looks like that, right? He's missed. right? But he's not. The problem is, right, so the reticle pulls in like that. It goes to that, to small. And that's when it's a headshot. See, if you fire like that, it's not. See, look, if you fire when the reticle's wide, maybe that's your problem. So see, when it's wide like that, it's not going to be that's going to be a headshot. See, when it goes small, that's a headshot. When it goes small, that's a headshot. But if you fire when it's wide open without
the dot, fucking tell you that in the game.
All right,
the game doesn't tell you this.
Yeah, so this guy's clearly bad at aiming here, so we'll stop that. But basically, I think that's your problem. Is like, see, when it goes wide, like you have to hold it on target, and then it goes small. When it's small, if you've got it on target on their head, it's a headshot. If you fire when the reticle is wide, it's not going to be a headshot because that's a more wider spray.
Well, that makes sense to me, but like I wish the game would explain that, because the game
basically you need to aim at the head and it pulls it in slowly, and once it goes small, boom, that'll be a headshot.
Okay, that might make
because I wondered where you're going wrong, and I'm now that we just played that video, I'm like, this guy's not getting headshots because he's not waiting for the headshot.
Yeah. So I'll try that, but I've used up so much ammo already, and obviously when you're not killing things, you're taking hits because the zombies are getting close to you and biting you and stuff. So I think I've used like 3 or 4 healing items already. But I've got 2. Well, don't show me this because I'm going to play this game. But so I've got 2 medallions already. Why is he going to shoot this guy? That's fucking cruel. That guy was my friend.
He'd been bitten.
Well, he still talks to me.
He's infected.
But he talks to me. But yeah, anyway, like well, I'm going to play this game, so this is plenty.
I'm just playing it for people watching.
Yes. But yeah, so I've got 2 medallions so far, and I'm looking for wherever the third one is. I'm not sure where it is yet. The other ones I've found relatively easily. Not head, but amazing, blown up. Okay.
Okay, so we'll stop this here.
But yeah, I'm enjoying the game so far. It's very atmospheric. They've done an amazing job with the sound design on this game. Like, unbelievable. It is so scary. Like, all the time. I'm just on edge the entire time I'm playing this game. Apart from if I'm in the main bit of the police station, because I know it's safe. I'm like, this is fine.
Now.
Don't tell me this.
For now.
I've had to run away from zombies a couple of times, but I found if you run back to there, then it's fine.
For now.
Oh my god. But yeah, I've definitely crapped myself a few times, like zombies coming.
You've not met Mr. X yet?
No, I haven't met Mr. X yet.
So you're going to meet Mr. X pretty soon.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I just found the spade key. I've got that, and I've unlocked the doors that it can unlock. And I've got to go through one door from that still that's in an office. I've not been through that door yet, so that's the next place I need to go. But yeah, really enjoying it so far. It's a really good game. I'm maybe like 2 hours, maybe 3 hours in, something like that. I think 3.
You've got a wee bit to go yet. I think it's about a 20-hour.
Yeah, I could see it easily being that. And I mean, Resident Evil 1 HD was a 30-hour game for me. So
it shouldn't have been, no.
Well, maybe not, but this is going to be like 50 easily. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So the spade key is the one I've done already. So then I've got the other ones.
I think that was next.
Club.
Can't remember. Yeah, I couldn't remember though. But no, like these are all cool. You can get a thing that is for the end of your keys that make them look like this. I'd seen it on Etsy, which is what I was actually looking for there when I was searching. And basically it's a key fob that goes at the end of your keys that makes them look like the Resident Evil keys. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like Resident Evil. It's not my favorite. Darren Armstrong sickened me of it, man. That he used to like play it through and get the fifth survivor mission, which is Tofu. So you have to basically, one of them's play it through only using a knife, and the other one's play it through taking no damage. And he did that to unlock Tofu, and one of them's completing it under 4 hours or something. I can't remember, but he's done all these things. He's done it in Resident Evil 8. He's got like everything, and I'm like, see, for me, once I've finished it.
See, I remember like hearing about Tofu back in the day, right? And I always just thought that it like back then that it was like just a April Fool's joke. Because it just seems like such a ridiculous thing. Like, oh, you have to complete the game using only a knife and only under 4 hours, or whatever it was. And I'm like, no one can do that. And also, why would they want to play as this like big lump of tofu? But no, it is a real legitimate thing. I've never seen it in person. Obviously, I've seen it on YouTube since then.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is what it is. It's a very Japanese thing, isn't it? So
yeah, for sure, yeah. But yeah, that's all I played. I didn't play anything else.
So yeah, this is
tofu.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. He's the fourth survivor. This is in the remake.
Yeah.
So he takes like a completely different route because obviously that's in the city and stuff. But
yeah.
The zombies don't bite you.
Oh,
they do. Sorry.
Oh.
No, they do. I thought they didn't bite you.
You would think they wouldn't bite you because you made a tofu. You're not tasted to them.
You just get knives. Yeah, I mean, like, it's biting chunks off you. Look at that. That's great fun.
Yeah.
You never seen that in the original, but I mean, like, it's just a silly thing to do. I mean, you got to unlock Hunk and who's kind of like a SWAT team guy, and he was he was the third survivor, I think. I can't remember, but Tofu was the fourth survivor. It's ridiculous. I don't know if you get to play as Hunk in the Hunk Resident Evil 2.
Maybe he's like an unlockable one as well.
You've probably seen him before. He just looks like a SWAT guy.
Yeah. I've seen him in the. Well, I've seen the original one. I've not seen it in the remake at all.
Yeah, he's back. He's back in this one. You need to unlock him though as well. I'd imagine how do you unlock him? Complete both Leon and Claire's campaigns, standard playthrough, and then immediately playing as the other via the second. All right, so instead of just playing it as a new campaign, you have to play it as a second run. Once they're both complete, you unlock Hunk's extra mode, so that's fine. See if you're just playing through it, I wouldn't even say you needed Claire. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. It's up to you, really. Like for me, if I play this again, I'm playing Leon, and that's me done.
I'll see how I feel at the end of the game. Like once I
how long does it? Leon? Let's see how long it takes normal people to beat.
I bet you it says 10 hours. I bet you that's what it says, like 10 or 12 hours or something.
Evil 2 remake, 15 and a half hours to obtain 100% completion. Resident Evil 2 is about 6 hours in length. I don't even think I could finish it in 6 hours. I'd say 15-20 is about right.
Yeah,
maybe. But for you, this could be.
I mean, I'm 2 hours in already. I've got 2 medallions.
Yeah, 8.5 hours seems to be average.
It's a 30-hour game for me easily.
You can make it longer. Like if you get lost, it's not as easy to get lost in this as bloody Resident Evil.
Yeah, I don't know. I found that mansion so confusing for at least half of the gameplay time that I was playing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I know canon-wise in the story, it was designed to be like that, but
yeah, and they did a good job with it because I got so lost so many times.
It was the camera angles that didn't help because sometimes if you get a different camera angle that you've never seen before, it's the same area. You're like, oh, this is a new area, and then you walk and you go through 2 doors, and you're like, how am I back in the main hall? Oh, for fuck's sake, that's that same room from a different angle. So, yeah. Because some rooms have got 2 doors, and if you come in it from the other door, you're seeing the different perspective. Really annoying. But sometimes that's the only way to see an object that's hidden because it's behind something you couldn't see the first time. But yeah, this game's Resident Evil 2 remakes. It's got a lot of modern tropes added to it that make it infinitely more playable. Like you should have a no easy time. Like now, not easy time, but
I think if I was playing on easy, I would be having an easier time. Which I probably will end up having to put it down to easy, but I'll at least start it on normal and see how we go on.
It's no shame in putting it down to easy if you want to play it. I have no problem doing that these days. Like sometimes I've got a deadline. It's like, I need to play this in fucking easy, man. Game's too hard without it. So like Resident Evil 2, though, I think some of the issues that Resident Evil Remake had, the first one, like the fixed camera angles were still there and the fucking tank controls were still there, even though they weren't as bad as the originals. Like this is modern movement, modern aiming.
The lighting as well was insane. Like
have you tried the ray tracing on it? Have you? I know you might be playing in performance or try fidelity. Try the ray tracing when you're down. You know when you go the bit with the shutter you're talking about when you go through there. You know how it's all dark with the water and stuff. There's a few lights. See that with the ray tracing HDR on. That is impressive as fuck. Like, really nice looking, man. Like the way that you get the light beams, you can see the dust and stuff coming off them.
The only thing with this game is you can't change it on the fly. So you have to exit the game
main menu.
And go back to the main menu to change that. So you can't like have a quick comparison between the two. It's a bit annoying.
See, being honest, I played most of Resident Evil 3 through with it on, and I turned it off during boss battles because they're a bit faster. But Resident Evil 3's get more boss battles because you're fighting Nemesis more often. You don't really fight Mr. X that much. You just run away from him more than anything. You do fight.
There'll be other bosses and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a good game. Bet you're glad. I bet it feels refreshing though playing that compared to what Resident Evil 1 was.
I mean, I think it's equally as scary. Like Resident Evil.
No, I mean refreshing as in like
points.
having all the quality of life improvements.
Definitely, the zombies are much scarier. I will say that, which is not good for me. I don't enjoy that.
You don't have to set them on fire in this one though, at least.
No, but you have to shoot them 1,000,000 times to kill them. Although
we've discovered your issue.
I did not understand the reticle, and now I do understand. Hopefully, I'll be better at it. Probably not. It does have if you put it to easy mode, it does have auto aim. I did discover that. Like I know I've not played on easy.
As far as I know, there's a very easy mode on it as well.
I'm not sure. Maybe there is.
And your health replenishes in that mode.
Oh, that would be fucking handy.
Which to me is but see, if you have to play in that, do. But see, for me at that point, it's like I might as well just watch it on YouTube.
No, it's different. It's still you're still getting the atmosphere and stuff like that. Even if the threat is removed, it's still fucking scary.
Ish.
I died in the first fucking.
No, I don't understand how you died. You died, and you weren't even in Raccoon City yet. You were in the outskirts at the petrol station.
I was in a petrol station.
And then you mentioned that. I'm like, how? There's like 2 or 3 zombies, and you're like, yeah, you got me. I'm like, how? Like, I don't understand how the zombie got you there.
It's because I didn't. It's because I obviously wasn't doing that aiming thing. I was just when I got to his head, bang, shoot before the reticle goes in.
It's done to heighten the tension as well because the zombie gets closer as you're aiming and you're waiting on it going, and then you have to go bang at the last minute. But see if you're aiming going, oh, that's in his head, bang, that's not counting as a headshot, obviously. So that's what your issue is. You need to wait for it to go from there to pull into the wee dot because it goes.
And I shot him like 6 times in his head and he still didn't die and I had no bullets left because I'd missed him a couple of times as well. So I'm like, And then he just ended up biting me and I died because once you lose that and lose your knife, that's you're fucked.
I still don't understand how you managed
can't
that.
Run away
in the
there.
Intro.
Yeah, in the intro, I died in the intro.
But no, it's Resident Evil 2 is like a lot of people say it's the best in the series. I reckon you will. I prefer 3. I really do. I think 3's a better game. I just love being in the city more. I know you're in Raccoon City, but you're at the police station. Whereas in Resident Evil 3, you're actually in the streets of the city, which I liked.
I think I might feel safer if I'm in a street instead of being in this fucking cramped corridors, man. Like,
have you seen Nemesis? Yeah. You don't feel safe in Resident Evil
3. No, I haven't seen it. I don't know what it is.
Nemesis is a tyrant that's programmed to kill STARS members, and you're the last STARS member in the city because you're playing as Jill just after the mansion trying to leave.
Right.
Because Resident Evil 2 occurs during part of Resident Evil 1. You know, they happen concurrently.
Yeah.
And then Resident Evil 2 finishes after the ending of Resident Evil 1, but then Resident Evil 3 starts near the end of Resident Evil 2. So they kind of happen at the same time as well.
Okay.
And then 4 is just completely different. Leon's in Spain working for the government.
Cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more of it. So
it's a great series to get into, and I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you liked the first one because that was the toughest one to get out the road, even though you played the remake, which is the best way you can play it because the original is almost unplayable now. But yeah, it's good. It's good that you're on that. But I still think Dead Space is a shout, man. Like Dead Space is a good game. It is scarier than Resident Evil, I would say. I never finished it. I get stuck at a bit where it was anti-gravity and you had to kind of like boost yourself, and if you overshot it, you missed, and if you went the wrong way, the floating babies, alien dead babies, killed you and stuff. And I'm like, I can't do this at that point, and I stopped. So I never played 2 or 3 either, even though Fraser claims we played 3 together. I'm like, it never happened, because I haven't like, I would have at least have one achievement on these games, and you can check on Xbox, and I haven't even played either of them. Or sorry, you would have the gamer card even with 0 achievements on it. I don't have the gamer card for either, because I'm like, I wouldn't have fired them up before I finished 1. But 1, what I played was incredible, so I'll probably get Dead Space 1 because it's out in January.
The remake,
yeah, and January's kind of quiet. Is it March or May for Breath of the Wild 2?
Can't remember.
March. So yeah, I basically need to, anything I want to play, it needs to be finished before that game comes out, because that game's going to take up at least a full month of my time. At least a full month, if not longer. It took like 5 years, but for me, it took me about a month.
5 years, 3 years.
Yeah, but it took me about a month to finish Zelda. And it was amazing. This one's solely for the Switch. Like that's what. The other thing, well, before we wrap up, I really do like doing our show of the year. I've always liked doing that, and Vault 42.
Oh, definitely.
I like doing those ones.
We need to update Vault 42. Yeah,
it's been a good few years now.
Yeah.
So you need to open back up the document, and we'll need to do what we've done before. What was it we did before? We left the original Vault 42, and we're like, right, here's the new one, and let's put the candidates for games that aren't on the list, and then try and see where they slotted in, and then argue over where they go.
Have we not only done 1 Vault? Did we do
that?
No,
we've done 2. Vault? We've done 2. Yeah, we've definitely done 2, because I remember having to redo it, because the original top game was Black Flag, and then it got replaced by The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
We've definitely done 2. I don't know if we've done more than that, but we've definitely done 2. It maybe feels like we've done more because we maybe talked about it over the course of a few weeks on the show, because I think we did it live on the show, and then the second one we just did it between us via Google Docs, and then done it all on the show and talked about. Or did we? Did we not? Did we not do a whole show of Vault 42 and we just discussed what game goes in where? I think that would be a better way of doing it for YouTube anyway, rather than just us going, here, look at the games we like.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be better to do it on YouTube, where we've got a list and then we put them into the vault.
But off air, what we'll need to do is we'll need to share a Google Doc and then add in games that aren't on the list. Like, I don't think was Breath of the Wild on the second Vault, the newest Vault 42? I
don't remember.
So we'll need to add in.
Possibly not. Although it must have been
because The Witcher 3 I played.
Witcher's on it, yeah.
So yeah, we'll need to make up a new one, because Metroid Dread's definitely not on it.
Yeah. Oh, we have done 2, yeah. So we did, the first one we did was in 2016, and then we did another one in 2020.
2 years is long enough.
Yeah, definitely.
2 years is long enough. 2016 was the first one.
Yeah.
What was the top game? Black Flag?
Black Flag, yeah.
I thought so. So what we could do is go through the old one and then compile a new one show, and just do that for the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, we need to work out a week to do it.
I think we should do it soon.
Oh yeah, we'll do it before the end of the year. 100%. We'll do it before the end of the year. And I don't know if there's anything really coming up that could be an entry for it. Gotham Knights will get potential, but I doubt it's going to top the Arkham games. Sonic, maybe, but
no, it's not happening.
You haven't played it yet. God of War, there's another one that could. Do you want to wait till after God of War? You've played Ragnarok.
Yeah, we can maybe wait till after God of War.
Yeah,
just in case that's good. Well, I don't think God of War was in it. No, God of War didn't make it in. No, it's not in.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll chat after the show about that, but we'll do that soon, listeners. But thanks very much, everyone. If you're still listening, you've listened to us from audio to now. Thank you very much as well. It's been a great 10 years so far, and we'll do more. Thanks, Matt, for sending in that video for us.
Yeah, that was good.
It was good of him, and we'll see you all next week. And we'll Gotham Knights to talk about. Finally, we can talk about that. We've at least played it once. Probably only once by next week. It'll be Friday night, and I'll be moaning at Andy by Sunday going, I need to play this, mate. Hurry up. But yes, anyway, thank you very much for tuning in and watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.